every Saturday morning, see on Channel 5, you'd see all these different samurai movies and stuff.
Oh, yes. Drunken Master.
They have them all.
You
And Dave wasn't in one of them.
Are you sure about
But
that?
you can rent them and take them home and then bring them back, which is
The
really
movies,
cool.
not me.
So there you go.
There's a
Well, there's a price for everything.
Hi, everybody. Welcome out to the Log Room, guys. Craft Beer Show. It is Tuesday, December 26th, 2023. 5 more days left of 2023. Jersey Johnny coming at you with me, as always, is none other than Mr. Beer Samurai. Say hello, sir.
Anybody have a hack on how to get these things cleanly out of the...
I was going to ask you the same question.
I don't know. There we go. I'm gonna break the damn thing. Oh, happy National Candy Cane Day, John.
Yes, happy National Candy Cane Day to you too, sir.
I'm going to have to clean that up later, damn it.
Yeah, I just, I've been working on it. During the music I started.
Yeah,
So
same here.
There we actually got it. Look at that.
Oh,
And I left half of it on so I can actually hold the bottom and not get sticky.
Yeah, but that's the hard part to get the wrapper off of.
Right. That works. That's fair. But anyway, happy National Candy Cane Day to you too.
I think I put the wrapper back on. Yeah, I did.
Can you do that?
I did.
Oh wow, that's cool. That works. Anyway, that's actually my first actual candy cane.
Yeah, same here.
Somebody gave me. We're one of the kids' parties on Christmas Eve, and somebody handed me what was it? Skittles candy cane. So basically, it was just Skittles in the shape of a candy cane.
Well, they got all those flavors now, right?
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the Spam flavored one.
Spam's good. Spam's good. You can.
I love Spam, but have you had the figgy pudding one? That's just not good.
I haven't had the figgy pudding one.
No. Don't. I know. Was it Starodumsky had
the figgy pudding Spam? Yeah, he had it. Yeah. The other day, put it up. Was that real? Is that a real thing?
No, I've had it. It's awful.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
No. I always thought that was a joke. I didn't think that was an actual thing.
No. The pumpkin spice one's not a joke either.
That I really thought was a joke. Sir.
No, there's actually
pumpkin spice flavored Spam.
Yeah.
Oh Jesus. Now wait, really quick. Is the figgy pudding flavored Spam, or is it just figgy pudding in a Spam container?
I wish it was the latter.
It's figgy pudding flavored Spam. Yeah, that wouldn't be going there. I would try it if it was just figgy pudding in a Spam can, but
no. I mean, you can take a Spam can. I mean, you can take something like this and just make a figgy pudding in it if you want.
Yeah, you actually have a ready to grab can of Spam handy at your desk.
It's
pencil holder.
Little hideaway safe thingy.
Oh, so it's a faux Spam container.
It's sitting, and it lives right there.
Gotcha. So it's not a real. There was no Spam in it originally.
No, there's never Spam in that can.
Gotcha. All right, fair enough. Yeah.
Or was there figgy pudding in that can?
Or pumpkin spice Spam. Anyway, happy beginning of Kwanzaa.
Happy beginning of Kwanzaa.
For all who celebrate. Happy beginning of Kwanzaa.
There's like candles involved in Kwanzaa, right?
Something like that,
yeah.
And it's Boxing Day too.
It is Boxing Day.
Mm-hmm. Now
that had something to do with like the Opium Wars, didn't it?
Either that or
Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, I'm not sure. One of them. And speaking of boxing, happy Cardboard Appreciation Day.
Yes. And I'm sure everybody who empties out, I'll be living in an apartment, and Javier is the one who empties out the garbage here. And the amount of cardboard that's in the recycle room right now.
I can imagine.
That poor man.
So you can appreciate that.
I appreciate it.
You appreciate that.
Actually, there should be a Javier Appreciation Day.
Exactly. And I'm sure you have a lot of cardboard in that you have your glasses packed in storage.
In storage, yes.
In storage, right? Yeah.
I do have to go to storage soon. I got to get my LPs out there. Kerry got me one of those newfangled record players.
Newfangled record players.
Remember? Well, yeah, they're newfangled because they now have Bluetooth.
Wow. And so it's just a standalone.
Mhm.
It plugs in, put the record on it, and it Bluetooths to a speaker.
No, you can Bluetooth into it actually, but it's got a speaker built into it. So it is a
Bluetooth into it.
Yeah.
So you can use it as a speaker,
Yes.
or you can play. It's a standalone unit.
Yes.
It's got an amplifier in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Or you can plug your speakers right into the back of it if you want.
Fair enough.
Or you can plug an amplifier into the back of it and plug your speakers into that if you
turntable.
It's a
and what do you put on these turntables? What is that?
There's these things that are made out of
vinyl.
Mm-hmm. They're black. They got these.
How did I know that?
And there's these grooves in it, that like little things in there. The needle goes through and it reads, and it turns it into music somehow. It's
weird.
It's witchcraft.
That's newfangled to me. I'm telling you. I don't know how. Can't they just take the good old standard computerized MP3? Isn't that wasn't that good enough for our forefathers?
No, now we can actually press it onto stuff, in this really weird format and just have it play. It's really
amazing.
Neat. It's got this little popping and hissing to it though. It's a little distracting.
Everything old is new again.
Yeah, actually, we did have went to a secondhand store and got some LPs and got Brandenburg Concerto. So we want to talk old.
Yeah, everything old is old and new and new again.
And older again, yeah.
Exactly. All right, I'm thirsty. You?
Yeah, I have a feeling that what we're going to be drinking tonight is going to make me even thirstier.
Yeah, it's probably the case.
Because we're going to be dehydrated. I'm going to get more water.
But let's bring our guests on. As always for this show, we have, welcome to the show, Mr. Matthew Potenski. How are you, Matt?
How's it going?
There he is.
Good. And
is it Matthew or Matto?
It's Matt. Matt's good.
It's just Matt.
Sharkade Matt. There you go. Right there. And joining us tonight for the first time on this particular show, this annual show, is Mr. Gattullo.
There he is.
Hi. Hey guys.
Hey,
how we doing?
With his seasonal cheer hat.
That's right.
There you go.
John from Ross Brewing got this for me last year,
yeah.
The year before, so that was very nice of him.
Just so anybody listening to the audio podcast that can't read your hat,
right?
I'll help you out. It says, "I love titties, beer, and Christmas cheer."
There you go.
There you go.
I'm going to take it off now because I'll get a little warm with that hat on. But appreciate the sentiment from John from Ross. So,
yeah, absolutely. Cheers to John. This is our annual pre-New Year's Eve year-end wrap-up show, also known as the Big Beer Show. So let's get right to it. You know what? I need a beer. It's been one of those days. So let's start with Al. This is the first time you're on this show. So what are you drinking first?
I will be starting with the Muckraker Dark as Your Soul, 13% there on the ABV.
I thought there was a Peter Gabriel album cover there for a second.
It doesn't look like one.
It looks like one.
I've been waiting to crack this for a while. Actually, Paragon Tap and Table had it. They sell cans that you can buy, to take home. You can get 4 cans for $20, and this was definitely worth it. They had a couple of Timber Rails cans too, which I had. Had one of those.
They did some pretty good stuff.
Nice,
phenomenal stuff. So
awesome. Matt, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking a big beer in a little can.
Big beer
in a little can.
Yeah. 14.1% ABV. This is a Froggy-Kloss, which I guess is basically Hop and Frog's homage to Sammy Foch, which is from Eggenberg in Austria.
Yeah.
It's amazing because this is like this is technically a lager. It's the most unlagery lager that's ever been made, but
it's ever lagered.
It's the unlagery lager that's ever lagered.
It drinks more like a barley wine or something like that than it does a lager because it's
very nice.
High ABV.
Very nice. Oh, this beer's pouring nice. Dave, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking the same thing you're drinking, John.
I'll put that up for you
because we can see it over there as you're trying to open it. This is Barrel Aged Cordially Yours. This is a collab between Rheingeist and Southern Grist. 2 very good breweries, so I've got really high expectations of this one. Old ale with orange peel, cherries, cacao nibs, and cinnamon.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost an old fashioned in a sense, I guess. No,
mm-hmm. Yeah, it's almost an old fashioned. Yes, I am drinking the same as well. And ironically, as it would have it, and this is a 2023 year in craft beer retrospective for us. Matt and I happen to be at both Rheingeist and Southern Grist this year. So
there you go.
Did not have this beer at either place, but
this is
anyway.
ties the whole thing together.
It ties the whole thing
just
together.
just like a good rug.
There you go. So cheers, gents.
Cheers.
Merry
Cheers.
Christmas. Happy New Year.
There you go. Merry Kwanzaa.
If I had one
about-
of these, I'd be drinking that.
Very nice. Oh, yeah.
That's a good one.
And as my
I
shirt
got
says,
Kwanzaa means the first in Swahili, by the way.
Yeah. So, what's the tradition, Matt?
That I don't know. I know.
He just knows. I just know Swahili.
I just know the Swahili part.
Just randomly. I just know Swahili.
randomly knows Swahili. Exactly.
Sorry.
He knows. He knows.
Actually, you know what?
He knows Swahili ordinals. I love it.
But
Right.
before we get into it, so today is also something else. It's a 30-year anniversary of John might know this, but on this date in 1993, the first Lambo Leap was made.
Mm-hmm.
The first.
You know who did it?
Who did the first Lambo Leap?
How long ago was it?
1993.
I know it was the first Lambo Leap. I'm trying to remember who it was. And I'll be honest, I only remember because they talked about it. They were talking about it on something today earlier.
It was obviously a Packer.
Was it a wide receiver?
It was a safety.
Was
by a defender, which was pretty cool.
Who the hell was that? Oh, damn. Crap. I'll think of it. Keep talking.
All right.
You know,
I'll let you have a shot.
it was.
Speak to us in Swahili, Matt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I only know a couple words in Swahili from a song, but I'm not going to say them now. So
Okay.
there's a reason for it. I'll tell them later.
No,
It doesn't
but
matter.
Biri de Ikubwa means I
Watch out for the cougar. Watch out for the
big
old.
beer. A big beer tonight.
Oh, I thought that was watch out for the older
I want-
ladies.
No,
Watch out for the older.
Kubwa.
Here's the old.
I think it's a cougar. Sorry.
AUBYU.
Dave Campanelle said, John should know this. He probably has the jersey in his closet.
Yeah, but it's probably correct.
If he has that jersey in his closet,
I don't have the jersey
He
in my
needs to
closet.
wear it. No, there's definitely not, because then he'd have to wear it Saturday.
Yeah. If I wear it Saturday, yeah, I would be. No, I have 3 Packers jerseys, and I know it wasn't Aaron Rodgers, and it certainly wasn't Aaron Jones, and it wasn't Jordy Nelson either. So those are the only 3 I have. So.
Can I give him a hint?
Yeah, give me a hint.
The game Clue.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'll give you an easier one instead of that, because you probably won't get it from that.
He did
Bruce Wayne had a what?
Named Alfred.
Correct.
Butler.
Well, bingo.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure.
Butler.
He was the king.
He was the king. You lost me.
We haven't even really started drinking yet.
No, we
This is
haven't
not
really.
good.
This is not good. I'm
It's
just
just
listening. I was.
stuff,
Here's the problem. I was going somewhere. Malcolm Butler.
Incorrect.
No, French.
Oh, Malcolm Butler. Malcolm Butler's on the page.
What is if back and talk Swahili, I'll speak French. What is French for the king?
Yeah, I knew that in French too, though.
I tell you,
Excuse me.
that
I was
blank,
totally going
blank,
somewhere else.
Well, technically, it's spelled differently.
It is spelled differently because the I becomes a Y in this
right.
man's name. Yes,
Yes.
but the name derives from the king in French.
There's a Jim Croce song called "Bad Bad."
Oh, Leroy Butler. Duh. All right.
Yeah, we really had to fucking hold your hand on that one.
Holy shit.
Jesus.
I was going down another path.
It
path.
rhymes with the boy.
Yeah, that's where you were going to go. Yeah.
That was the next one.
Yeah.
I only knew because I looked it up. You were
Thank you.
Anyway, there's no way in hell I would have known that.
Anyway.
Does someone have a massage chair? What was that?
No, that's my humidifier. Hang on 1 second. Let me just mute my mic. Let me.
I thought it was War of the Worlds was coming to somebody's house. One of those. It sounded like one of those units.
No, I was gonna get jealous. I thought someone had a massage chair. I'm like,
this is fantastic, by the way, Dave.
This is actually pretty damn good.
I'm like,
I got this handy if you need it
to. My wife got me that for Christmas, and she also bought me this foot thing that you put your feet on it. And the best part of this was it's supposed to be for like you can stand on it or whatever. And I'm looking in the instructions and it says, if you weigh more than 264 pounds, don't stand on it. I want to know how they got 264.
That's oddly specific.
Not 265, not 300, not 250, 264. They got the fat guy in the room. Oh, it's 264. That's it. You can't use it.
They had guys ranging from 240 to 300 standing on them, and everyone broke all the way down to 265. 264 was fine. So
no, you just had
they had a calibrated force meter when they had the pressure. So.
No, that's not fun.
That's not fun. Stop being technical.
You've got a heavy guy in every hour. You give him 4 quarter pounders, and ramp him up a pound.
Mm-hmm.
So you put your feet on this thing, and I was using it last night during the Giant game. You put your feet on this thing, and it vibrates to keep your circulation going or whatever. And I set it to the highest speed because I was playing around. I did the lowest and the highest. The highest, I thought I was going to vibrate into another dimension. My entire lower body was shaking so bad. It was I was like, oh my God. I felt great, but it was like, wow. So best not to do that while you're drinking. So I'll put it that way.
Yeah, let's not test the universal resonance theory while drinking, especially while watching the Giants.
Right. Please. Yeah. Well, there was, everybody and their mother posted this meme today. That was, I think it was on, oh geez,
which one? The NFL memes one?
Yeah,
the 3 referees and the Eagles.
No, the Eagles and the one ref. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's nice.
Well, I did think the last play in the end zone was not pass interference. I thought he flopped. I didn't think he was impeded. There were a couple of other plays right before that.
Two plays before it. They would have had
one on the sideline.
Right, they would have had 50-something seconds, and they would have been on like the 30-yard line.
I'll say one thing.
Here's the.
Moose Johnson rarely.
It wasn't even the best referee meme though that was made today, because there was one with the guy who Lamar Jackson tripped over, and it said only guy on the field that could stop Lamar Jackson last night.
I saw that
in San Francisco.
That game was shocking.
The thing about that non-call though, Moose Johnson rarely comments on referees' calls. Mm-hmm. You don't hear him go off too much about it. He's usually tends to be pretty neutral on these things, so I enjoy watching him. And he said, that really should have been pass interference. Right. You don't hear him say that often.
Well, here's the thing, right? I said this as a joke, obviously, but I said this yesterday. I'm watching the game in the same room with 3 Eagles fans, so that was fun. All right, so that was fun. But I said this yesterday. I was like, Dallas Cowboys refs, throw calls their way when they're home because Jerry pays them off. Haha, that's the joke, right? Eagles refs throw calls the Eagles' way because they don't want to get the shit beat out of them on the way out of the stadium.
At the very least.
Yeah.
But John, as you were saying earlier, this beer is really good.
This is fantastic. Yeah, I you know what? I'm gonna have to. Everybody keep an eye out on Tavor. I got to get 2 bottles of this one. If it pops on again.
I did. I ordered 2 of them.
This one from Muckraker. This one from Muckraker, smooth as silk. I'm shocked that it's 13%.
What is it? What is the beer again? What kind of beer?
Dark as Your Soul, Weeded Imperial Stout by Muckraker.
Very nice.
Yeah, really, really good. Very smooth.
There you go. How's the Froggy Claws there, Matt?
It's pretty good. It's got a lot of dark fruit to it. Little boozy in the finish, but
is he drinking our beer?
He's
the only thing he's missing there.
Yes,
is
it does.
No barrel notes, obviously, but
we get because you get vanilla from the barrel notes, but man, this has got a lot of it's got a big cocoa presence to it.
It's got a big cocoa presence to it.
This definitely has a little high alcohol in the kind of like almost a little touch of fusel in the nose, but
I should have
a little smoother than that.
I should have gotten 2 of these. I definitely should have gotten 2 of these.
I ordered 2 of both the Rhine guys that were available at the time, and I think I told you I wasn't thrilled with the first one. It's
Yeah, you said.
I think it oxidized. It was
And not in a good way.
It was licorice.
Gotcha.
Oh, it's not supposed to be licorice.
What do we have, Matt? What did we have out at Ryan Geist when we were there? We had it before. But it was the
was it Night Whale or Mastodon? One of
Mastodon. That was Mastodon.
Yeah, it's Night Whale that I have.
Yeah, Night Whale is the stout. Mastodon, I believe, is the
It's a quad. It's a quad, yeah.
So it was some kind of barrel aged quad.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
That was really good.
Name like that, it better be.
So yeah.
I'm on the Night Whale.
And Ryan Geist is such a cool space too. I mean, it's like you walk up to the 3rd floor of a factory, and then the ceilings are 40 feet, and all of their 100-barrel fermenters are on that floor, and it's on the 3rd floor.
It was just like, what the hell?
Yeah. How do they get them in there? And how does the floor hold all this weight being the 3rd floor in the building? It's crazy.
And I'm like, I know where I'm going in the apocalypse. I'm going to the basement of that building.
Right.
Apparently that thing's built like you wouldn't believe.
So it's a fantastic brewery.
And they have
really
beer.
too. And they have beer. Yeah.
That's a good thing.
And before we drank all that beer, we had Cincinnati chili. So that was
over the spaghetti.
Yep. With all the cheddar cheese on top and
cheddar cheese and chili and onions and everything, all that good stuff. That was fun. Anyway, and that was later in the day after drinking a lot of bourbon too. So it was a full packed day.
Yeah.
Anyway.
We didn't hang out for the women's wrestling.
We did not hang out for the women's wrestling.
Yeah, we had to hit the road. So
yeah,
that sounds.
Could have been a really crazy day.
I would have
hit the bathroom.
They were setting up for it while we were there, though, so that's true. Anyway.
The bathroom or the women's? Oh, the women's.
They were setting up the bathroom while we were there. Yeah. And I had been there once before. It's the second time I was there, and they had opened up a roof deck with bars up there and everything, and that space was really, really cool. And it wasn't there. Last time I was there was 4.5, almost 5 years ago, and that wasn't there, but it was really cool. Which on Friday, Matt, you'll be at a brewery that you haven't been to the new roof deck on either, so that'll be fun.
It's funny though because I think they'll check your ID and ask if you've been to Skyline, and then it's like if they have enough people, I guess they got to open the secondary bathroom.
Secondary bathroom, yeah. Did you get chili before you got here? All right.
How many people over there? How many of you guys had Skyline before you showed up here? All right, we got to bring in the reinforcements.
We got to open this other bathroom.
Second bathrooms.
So cool space. Cincinnati's a cool little city, but I say little because we are right next to New York. So
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, all right. Let's talk about the year. Al, let's start with you. We, just in general, you don't have to talk about your whole year. Just back, craft beer wise. Obviously, you do a lot of, your show. Obviously, right. You're doing a show every week. Any highlights from your show this year, other than Matt and I, of course?
No, you guys were great. That was a fun time at Alternate Ending. That was a lot of fun, and that Black IPA was very good that you guys did.
Thank you.
With them.
I still have a can left.
Some of the highlights. Interviewing Jim Cook again was a lot of fun because we got to experience the new lager that they put out and got to spend time with him. Not only did I get to spend time with him on the phone, but I got to spend time with him in person, drinking the lager and discussing different things about the lager and why they decided to enhance the recipe, which I thought was cool. John Schneider, that I just recorded a couple of weeks ago,
yes,
with his new Moonshine. That was a fun interview. That's one of those ones where I was sort of, okay, I'll ask him questions, he'll answer and whatever. He made me feel like in those 10 minutes that we had been friends for 40 years. Like he could not have been nicer. We spoke for about 5 minutes afterwards. He was telling me about a beer down where he lives in Louisiana that, I need to get and would try and get me some and, et cetera, et cetera. So it was, that was a really fun interview. And the rest of it is really just the state of beer in New Jersey and the closings that have been happening. It seems like from January 1 to even today in Genius Brewing in Houston announced they are closing up shop in 2 weeks. The tap room is closing January 6th. Mm-hmm. And The last of their beers are going to go out, and that's it. They're done.
Wow.
And they made some great stuff down in Houston.
Genius did, definitely. Yeah, absolutely. It's funny you said that. I was going to pause on it, but I told Dave to wait. Dave Campanelle commented, New Jersey craft beer got screwed. That was 2023. Actually, it was 2022 is when it started. Right. And then 2023, there was a little extra screwing. But
I don't want people.
2019, but.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Well, I don't want people to give up hope here. The legislative session ends January 9th, but the rules go back into effect on January 1st. The governor is out of touch until January 1st. The legislature doesn't plan on coming back until the 4th. Senator Scutari, who is the guy that needs to bring this up to move this forward, has said he is willing to talk and listen. When originally a couple of weeks ago, he was sort of adamant about the bill is the bill. He sends it back to us with this conditional veto and change is probably not going to happen. So the fact that he's changed his tune in the last 3 weeks tells me they are continuing to talk to try and come up with something. Whether or not it happens in 5 days after they get back, because obviously they're not in session this week. They're not coming back till the 4th. They've got 5 days to get something done. I don't know if they can do that unless they have the framework already in place. And it's just a question of, who says yes and who says no, and if they have enough votes. So I don't want to say that it's dire yet, but I think that the fact that the Brewers Association, the Brewers Guild, and the Brewers Association, which obviously they're getting back together, the fact that they sent a letter to the ABC 2 weeks ago to say, look, what are you doing here on January 1? Are you going to move it forward 6 months, continue the moratorium, or are you starting to enforce the rules on January 1? And there's been no response. Tells you a lot.
Right.
So,
I will say this, though. I won't say who, because this was told to me. I don't know whether it was told to me in confidence or not, but it's not my information to pass along. But I was told by somebody in the New Jersey craft beer industry who also has ties to state and legislating and stuff like that. We'll leave it at that. That this person is convinced, or all but convinced, I should say, that something will happen by the 9th. By the time they're
okay.
Very, very, very optimistic that it'll get done because of what they heard from certain people.
I think the fact that they've passed this unanimously, it's not something they want to bring up again. And the fact that Murphy is essentially a lame duck here and he's trying to get his wife elected to Senate,
right?
To become a United States senator. She's going to go after Menendez. You would think this would be a clear win-win for him. Well, no. I mean, the legislature is basically saying to the governor, you're not going to get what you want in the next 2 years. It really needs to be something that we really want to do in order for us to move things forward. Regardless, beer bill or not, anything that he wants to do within the state, he's going to have to negotiate with them. He's not going to be able to just push things through and say, you're going to do this for me, because they're basically like, nah, you know what? We'll wait for the next guy in 25 or the next woman, whoever it is.
He doesn't have the leverage to get that big win he wants. Take the small win and get out of Dodge.
Right. Exactly.
Otherwise, everyone takes a big L and it just sucks all around.
Right. Listen, I don't have a problem with the pocket license thing. The problem I have with it is tying it into this bill. It does not benefit the breweries in any way, shape, or form. It's completely separate, and it should have been separate from Jump Street. The fact that Murphy backed off of his initial, I'm going to conditionally veto it, and I want, everything in the kitchen sink, and the fact that he came back and said, all right, if you do the pocket licenses, I'll sign it. And they sort of said, nah, I don't know if we're going to do that. And now they're saying, well, maybe we will do that. I think they see the immediacy of the fact that the brewery industry contributes almost $2 billion to the state coffers. They're going to be in a deficit next fiscal year. They can ill afford to allow more businesses in New Jersey to start going out of business, because then they lose tax revenue. Yep. And that's just going to be a bigger nut. They're going to have to figure out how to, close those holes. So who knows? I'm crossing my fingers that by the 9th we have something on the table and signed.
You and me both. I do feel the same way. I'm optimistic because of some of the things you've been talking about, not just today on the show, but also what this other person, I will leave it at that, had mentioned to me. And it was a couple of weeks ago too. It was a week and change ago ish. But I'm cautiously optimistic about it. So hopefully something gets done. I'd like to see it get done. I hope it does get done. It should get done. There should be no reason it doesn't get done.
Right.
In the grand scheme of things, if it doesn't get done and we have to go back to the legislature again, there should be no reason why they won't vote unanimously again for it by this June.
I don't know. See, that's the thing.
Should be no reason.
Should, but you've got change. You've got change over in both the in the assembly and
but not enough from the people that voted for it to kibosh it.
Correct. But it's not going to be unanimous. But like to Murphy's point, here's a perfect example of the pocket license thing. So a restaurant in town went out of business about 6 months ago. They couldn't figure out how to make things work during the pandemic. Longtime beer bar, had been there forever. They gave it up. They sold the business. But the license was purchased by Chris Michael's Steakhouse, the liquor license. The rest of the business is sat dormant. Apparently, we're hearing from the town, there's a meeting next week that a Starbucks is going in there. They want to put a variance in to put a drive-through in, which I'm in an uproar about because it's right on Central Avenue, which is right by the Garden State Parkway. It'll be a nightmare. But regardless of the Starbucks, now Chris Michael's Steakhouse is holding this license. What are they going to do with it? They're going to hold on to it until they can sell it? What's the deal? So I'm with Murphy on this. If you haven't used your license in X amount of years, you need to give it up. You either need to sell it for market value, whatever the market price that New Jersey sets, or you have to put a business in. You shouldn't be able to hold on to a license as a stock in perpetuity. Yeah,
that's exactly. There's many. There's not one or two. There's many of these licenses all across the state, and they're in people's pockets, and all they are is investments. That's it.
Right.
They're sitting on them until they can double or triple their money, and then off they go. And it should not be the case.
It's not fair. No. And when you're dealing with a town like mine, who only has 5 licenses because they can only give them out per 3,000 people, and there's 15,000 people in the town, you have a very limited amount of licenses. Now, in a bigger city, like say Montclair or say Newark or say Jersey City, you've got a lot more licenses, a lot more leeway to get around. So I get that. But again, why are you putting it on the onus of the breweries? It's not their fault. The breweries can't sell liquor. They can't produce liquor. They can't produce wine. They can't do those things. The things are entirely separate. One has nothing to do with the other. That's my big problem with the whole thing.
It's apples and oranges. It's stupid. It's what 100%. It is. What it really is.
100%.
I hope people actually come to their senses, and he's not, like you said, he's not wrong with that, and I agree 100% with that too. Yeah, put it. I mean, because who's he pissing off, right? Who's the state pissing off if they actually pass that? Right, the people that hold them in their pockets, the people that are doing, the people using investments. Who cares? They don't have a restaurant that's operating right now. They're not technically part of the restaurant association. Just because they have a license doesn't mean they're part of the restaurant association. So who are they really pissing off?
Exactly right.
Sign the damn thing, get it done, and let's move forward. Come on.
Right. Look, if I have to continue to drink high ABV stouts at home, I guess that's what I'm going to have to do.
That's what we're going to have to do. Yeah. Right? Hopefully that's not the case. Matt and I kind of hope that's not the case. But
yes, I'd like to drink. I want to drink high ABV stouts at your place. So
so do we.
Right. Or barley wines, or porters, or whatever.
Yeah, any of them. All right. Matt, any interesting points you can bring up about 2023?
Well, I mean, again, just obviously the legislation and everything dominated, the news and what we're trying to do and everything else.
Sure.
The other thing that was pretty apparent is that, there's a lot of breweries that really couldn't weather the storm, and they just had to close their doors. And and there was a bunch of them here in New Jersey. So, it's a shame when every month you you're getting another post on Facebook saying, "Hey guys, we hate to announce this, but this coming up, 3 weekends from now is going to be our last weekend, and we're shutting the doors." And we have had some breweries open this year too. So, but I think, I definitely think there'd been more closing than opening. So, it's interesting to watch here in a state where we're so we have such a high population density, and we're nowhere near what I would consider capacity for breweries. I think the number of breweries, the total number of breweries, has actually dipped this year as opposed
Slightly,
to
yeah. There's been a few opens, but there's been more closings than openings, like you just said.
yeah.
Right.
So I mean, that's probably been the first year that's been the case in probably 10 or 12 years since Kane and Carton opened. I mean, so it's interesting that the industry that has been expanding a lot, and again, having economic value and again, paying all the taxes and doing all those things that are beneficial to the state. This is the first year where I think that number is going to actually, the total number of breweries will actually drop instead of expand.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's a huge thing,
It is.
And I mean, a lot of that does go back to the restrictions and things like that. I think so. It's part and parcel to hopefully we kind of hit that point where it bottoms out, and then Dave, I think you're muted. I didn't hear any of that. If you just saw your mouth moving, but it's I hopefully we hit that little bottom, and now we're going to see some growth going up again, and hopefully, I mean, we're going to be part of that process. So, I'd like to see that growth trend kind of bounce back.
I agree. I would love to see that bounce back. I mean, what breweries have closed in New Jersey? I mean, we've talked about it a bunch of times on the show. Obviously, which Lunacy closed,
right?
Jug Handle closed.
Bull and Bear closed, but then
Bull and Bear closed, reopened. Tuggo closed, but that was a business decision. That wasn't
right.
It's not that they weren't surviving; they were done. They were like, right. We're good.
There's a couple of them down there that have closed. Like, did 8th and Stand announce they were going to close?
I didn't hear that.
One of the
no,
ones.
I thought 8th and. No, you're thinking of was it Coho? One of them is selling, but the way they had worded it made it sound like that they were closing. They weren't. They're just.
It was
looking for a buyer.
Coho. It was Coho. Yeah, they're looking for for somebody
for a buyer.
They're going to keep operating, and then eventually they'll.
Right.
It'll be just change hands. That's all. So.
Devil's Creek sold to Swedesboro.
Yep.
So they sort of closed, but Swedesboro was
they just announced their closing, and then that happened. So
right.
So
Coho was just the way they worded. Coho was just the way they worded their release. It made it sound like that they were closing up shop, but in turn they're actually for sale. They're just going to continue until they sell it.
Dave, by the way, you are muted. We couldn't hear what you said. So. Check that out. Probably the same thing that happened before. Just check.
Now that being said, and I'm sure we'll talk about it a little bit later in the show, as a nice little counterpoint to that, and maybe a little positive note. There are 2 breweries opening this weekend coming up.
There are 2 breweries.
That's right.
This weekend.
So, that's nice.
And at least 2 of us are going to be at both of them.
Yeah.
So,
3.
3.
Yeah, I'll be there.
I'm a maybe.
You're a maybe? Okay.
I have a event to attend, so it depends when that ends. So.
No, I'm definitely a maybe on. Definite maybe.
All right, and Dave, I knew you were back on as soon as I heard the video game in the background.
It's not a video; it's video game television. I was playing with the shape of the mic, and anytime that you look at the mic too hard, it seems to push it back to the laptop.
Anytime you look at the mic too hard, or anytime anybody looks at the mic too hard?
I think anybody.
Anybody, okay.
So don't look at the mic. It's over here.
Don't look at the mic. Don't look at it.
One you missed, guys. Miss Kelly Green closed this year.
Yes, that's
Kelly
right.
Green closed, and that was the same thing. They were just done.
Same thing.
They were just done.
And High Rail closed.
High Rail did close,
but they had their issues.
That's another thing too. And High Rail closed. High Rail closed because there was an accident.
An accident? Yeah, someone drove a car.
Through the front window.
Different from restrictions.
But Eskerhard is going in there, so it's another brewery. It's gonna.
I mean,
Melavino closed.
Business decision.
I got to put Melavino in.
You mentioned Jug Handle, and Jug Handle, their closure. I don't know how much it was for the restrictions or just the asinine decision to move to the location they were in, from the location that they started in. This location.
I think it was that plus the beer they were making.
Yes.
Not good.
Yeah, there's that too.
Nobody was talking about it.
Isn't
Asbury reopening?
No,
Asbury is reopening.
Asbury's reopening.
Asbury's reopening on Cookman. They have a space on Cookman that they've been building out. It's just taking a lot longer than they
Forever.
originally thought it was going to take. So
if you're going to go move to a bigger location, one of the things they should have focused on was making a nice tasting room.
Mhm.
And that's the
Right.
problem is they made this big location and then they were focusing mainly on packaging beer.
And trying to do contract brewing as well.
Well, also you can't. We're back to jug handle. You can't park there.
Yeah, you can't
No,
park
there's
there.
no parking. And getting
location where you miss the turn, it's right
Yeah.
off the circle
Yeah.
there.
Mhm.
getting into it is really, you're taking your life in your own hands, making the turn into
Exactly.
But I
the.
mean, to go in
choke
and have
up a
a
parking
beer, they
lot.
had a bar, but then you're sitting at a picnic table like in a warehouse that like literally like the walls are just spackled drywall. There's no, the walls aren't even painted. Or
Nothing's finished,
Well,
and
It's
it's
just
it's
crazy to me.
They
Hey,
shot themselves in the foot.
that sounds
Well-
like Ross Brewing. I mean,
it,
I love the tent, but he's got to. We talk about this all the time. He's got to get the building open, otherwise,
he's got to get the
Nope.
back building open. He's got to get the
Yeah.
back building open. Yeah, the front building is just it's a very small tasting room.
I
And
mean,
then
the
you're
front
outside,
building, the front
so-
building is production.
It's not a room; it's a hallway.
And I understand you can have that. You should have that little room in the front for packaged goods if people want to run in and buy it.
Well, that's
You need to have the
that's
actual
the initial-
tasting room in the back.
That's the
right.
plan.
That was
right?
the That was the plan, was so that if people wanted to buy stuff, they can get it and go. But he's had to convert that into sort of a tasting room, which is not good because if you get crowded, you're kind of screwed in there. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
but he's up, he's running, and people are going.
That's it.
So,
he's
you
You're drinking big stouts at home. I'm
There you go.
going with a 2018 KBS.
solid standard. No Mackinac fudge. No.
No,
I think just the actual KBS, right?
Yep.
And it's not a Mackinac fudge pour in a 5-ounce glass filled to the top either. We've had those.
Don't let people from Michigan hear you say Mackinac.
Mechanic.
That's true.
It's Mackinac. That C somehow or another becomes a W. I don't know how,
Fair enough.
which craft that is, but it becomes a W.
There you go. And Victory Java Cask. Yes, very nice.
Yeah, this is. I actually have to put my glasses on because I don't even know how old this is and how long it's been sitting in my fridge. This was.
that's got to be from the early.
I'd say 2012. I want to say 2012. also.
2017.
Really? It's
Wow.
that young?
I didn't even know they made that again in 2017.
I think this was the last year that they did it.
No.
Oh, and speaking of which, B3 is coming up in May. You're
May.
making
There
barbecue.
you go.
Yeah,
Make sure you're there.
exactly. We will be there.
Oh yeah.
Well, Matt and I will be there. I can't speak for
Before
Dave.
that, we got Bruisology coming up. And
Bruisology is
February.
coming up. Mhm.
I got my VIP ticket for that. I
There
can't
you
wait.
go.
we got our VIP tickets. And
Ooh.
Carrie's going to have foot surgery, so she's not actually going to be able to go. She won't be walking just yet. So I will probably be bringing Meathead with me.
Meathead, a little meathead sighting that day. There you go.
It's been a long time since he's been around, so it'll be
There you
interesting. To
I
bring
mean,
him
it's
out.
kind of crazy because this beer it's a little old school in a sense now, but it's still just damn.
It's just one of the best beers brewed.
Well, yeah, of course it is. I actually almost drank a Founders tonight too. I went back and forth with my third beer, if I even get to my third beer.
Considering
for
it's
these,
5
but-
years old at this point, it's drinking really nice. For
That's-
5. I mean,
that's
it's still got
fantastic.
coffee in it.
Right.
I just remember when I was working in Edison and you had Haley's Harp, and they would always put the KBS on tap for the Kentucky Derby. And it'd be like
Oh.
Monday after the Kentucky Derby, and I'd like ring them up and be like, "Hey,
Hey, left.
let's keep that keg of KBS." And they're like, "Nope." And I'm like, 2.5 hour lunch it is.
Done.
Because I love them and the food was great and the ambiance was great, but man, they were slow as anything.
I want to bring this story up really quick. I've said it. I think I've said it before on the show, but I don't think I've ever. Matt, I might have said it to you before. Al's never heard it. I'll be quick about it. If you remember, you guys ever watched the Brew Dogs when they did the original show on? I guess it was on the Spike Network or whatever it was on. Whatever it was on. And one of the places they went to Against the Grain, and they brewed a beer with Against the Grain, and they made a stout that they brewed with mint, fresh mint from a local farm that provides mint for mint juleps for the Kentucky Derby, right? And they went to Sazerac, and they got 5 Pappy barrels, and they built this carousel. And they put the beer into this carousel, and where it would would be in one barrel, and then the carousel would just turn, and it would all empty into another barrel, and then into another barrel, and then another barrel, and it just went around and blended itself as it was going around the carousel. And then they released it for the Kentucky Derby, and it was a mint julep stout, barrel aged stout, right? Essentially. Wow. And it sounded so good, right? So about 3 months later, I'm in Connecticut. I'm up in New Haven. And Cask Republic, I don't remember if you remember Cask Republic up in it was in New Haven. It was part of the Ginger Man group, right? Cask Republic. So it's gone now too, right? But we walk in there, we sit down, and we're ordering. I'm looking at the beer menu, and I see this stout. So that Against the Grain sold a barrel of this stout, probably a sixtel, obviously, of this stout to Cask Republic. I'm like, I will have that one, and then nice. And then I had it again and again. I had 3 of them. It was fantastic. So. But you mentioned Kentucky Derby. That's why I remember that. So anyway, Dave, you finished?
I'd have 2 of those and a hamburger, and it'd be 2.5 hours. But then I'd call them again on Tuesday, and then maybe Wednesday.
There you go.
I'm moving on my second, John. I'm not going to finish this.
It's funny because I'm almost finished with it.
I'm finished with my glass, but I'm not finished with the bottles.
Oh, I poured the rest of it in. Yeah,
I didn't pour the rest of it in because I don't know.
By the way, I didn't turn the front of her around. I can't. If you see,
yeah, there you go. Get some cane on there.
It's a Kanye glass.
Kanye glass. But I don't know about you, John. As this is warming up, it's getting a little cloying.
It's getting sweeter as it warms up.
Yeah, it's getting sticky and cloying, and I'm not gonna. So I'm gonna let the rest of that sit. I think it'll sit in the fridge overnight. It'll go in the beer fridge, so I won't pull too many off flavors.
I will tell you, for this being 6 years old, this has still got some great coffee to it. It's got a nice.
Victory makes some pretty solid beer. I mean, I think
they can
pretty big brewery, but I mean they're pretty underrated.
They're sending me their. They did a collab with Tasty Cake.
Oh,
they did a coffee cake ale,
nice.
And Matt from Massive Beers, he did an unboxing last night. Last night where he got it. It may be sitting in my studio at work. I probably won't see it for another week, but you're right. They are a very underrated brewery that makes some really good beers. And the fact that they sort of banded together with 6 Point and Southern Tier,
Victory, and 6 Point, yeah.
Is tremendous because they all make really good stuff, and not one of them sort of, outshines the other. They're all sort of complementary to one another of what they do. And 6 Point is actually building a tasting room in Lower Manhattan, literally across from the World Trade Center.
Yep.
I keep seeing the sign, late 2023. Well,
it's
2023 is almost over. It'll be early next year.
From what I understand, they've actually do occasionally pour there if you catch them at the right time.
No, they haven't opened it yet.
No,
I heard that there's been a soft opening.
I haven't seen anything. They still have signs up. Oh,
yeah.
News to me because I can park right there if I want.
I read that somewhere.
Dangerous. No, that's dangerous for me.
Yes, right there.
I remember last time I was there, they had just a fantastic rye lager, and it was something that I don't even think they really packaged much. It was they made it there, and you could have it there.
Yeah,
and it was just super clean, but super nice and spicy, and I'm like, this is awesome.
Yeah, Bill Kovalevsky, one of the owners of Victory. I've interviewed a bunch of times. I've met him personally. He's a great guy. I love talking beer with him.
I've met him once.
He's become a really good friend. He's become a really good friend. He's good people. I mean, the place they opened in Philly is supposed to be awesome. I really want to go down there and check it out. It used to be an old TGI Fridays.
I'd be game for that.
And he told.
Have you been to the Xfinity Center? They have a tap room in the Xfinity Center by the stadiums. Victory does.
No, I didn't know.
Yeah.
So I didn't know that.
I'm assuming what you're talking. That was never a TGI Fridays, as far as I'm concerned.
No. This is in downtown. This is in downtown Philly,
in Center City.
Yeah. So it used to be a TGI Fridays, and when they were converting it into a tap room and food and stuff or whatever, they discovered that there was a pool in there, apparently
Cool.
the TGI Fridays had covered over, I guess it's 2 floors, and on the second floor there was a pool. And so the TGI Fridays had covered over it. And when they were constructing, like tearing stuff out, Bill said, we saw the pool. He goes, and I have to tell you, I'm not going to lie, for about 5 minutes, I entertained the notion of ripping it up, leaving the pool, and just, doing something. And then I realized the liability insurance alone would be through the roof.
Yeah.
See what they
He
should
said,
have done. What they should have done is left the pool and turned it into a cool ship.
That's one.
Mm.
I would have one
Or a
big
cool
massive
ship?
cool ship.
Call it the pool ship.
Cool ship.
Right. But they ended up, they
I
filled
wrote
it and
itself.
covered it. And,
Full ship Cerise. Nice.
But he was like, for 5 minutes, I entertained. He's like, oh, this would be great. A pool and everybody drinking and swimming. And
What kind of business was it before TG? No, I don't want to know.
I think it was,
Like a
I'm
YMCA or something?
YMCA.
no,
It's a-
either that or a hotel.
It was a Turkish bath. Is what it was.
No, or a hotel.
Well, yeah,
I think he said it was a
probably a
hotel.
hotel. It was probably a hotel. Yeah.
Or,
Like a Sheraton or
they,
something.
or they filled it with Jello, and it was like an establishment that
How big was the pool? I mean, we're talking
or
about
it was like Rheingeist, and they had female wrestling.
wrestling.
Jello.
Yeah.
From what he told me, it was an Olympic-sized pool. It was a
Oh,
huge pool.
that's a lot of Jello.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I'm going to eat a Lindor snickerdoodle truffle really quick here. So
Thanks for sharing.
I just want to let you
I
know.
mean, Victory always has a soft spot in my heart because Hop Devil was one of the very first craft beers that I really.
I know.
Yeah.
What did you call them? The blend you the Black and Devil?
Yeah, that's I used to get pictures of Guinness and pictures of Hop Devil at this one bar, and we would make what we called Black and Devils instead of a Black and Tan. And I mean, basically, it's a black IPA. It was like a black IPA before black IPA was a thing. So
There you go.
Like 2000, the year 2000 or so.
Matt invented the.
I didn't invent it, but I thought it was. I enjoyed that flavor profile, and then
Oh no, what's fantastic though. No,
said, "Hey,
I love Hop
good
Devil. Hop
idea."
Devil's a great beer. Hop Devil's a great beer. It's a classic flavor. It's a classic flavor. I mean, just like
I mean,
I
if you
equate that
ever-
on the level of like Nugget Nectar, right? Trogs coming out with Nugget Nectar every
Yeah.
year. You got to get one. You got to have one, at least
Right.
one every year. It's
I mean, if you ever just blindfolded me and put a Hop Devil in front of me, it'd probably be 2 feet from my face, and I would just say Hop Devil.
Mhm.
Like it's just that scent, that nose of that beer. It's like burned into my brain.
Gene Lynch wants to know if I'm having snickerdoodle edibles. So, technically, yes.
He's having a snicker. He's having a singular plural. Yes, he is.
He's having
a
something that's
snickerdoodle.
snickerdoodle flavored.
A
and edible.
snickerdoodle edibles, right? So, there you go. All right. Exactly. Dave, did you pour your second beer?
I do have the hen come in here.
And come.
What I sent John when I was drinking today, I misspelt it.
Mister, you didn't mispronounce it. You
I misspelt it. It's supposed to be Kun hen, and there's the first N was an M, so it was cum hen.
That's a totally different.
That's a whole.
he channeled his inner Matt, is what he did. So.
Channel my inner George Carlin on that
Did it
one.
have
Well, that
high
too.
fructose corn syrup in it?
Corn syrup. Yeah.
That's a different farm.
Yeah.
This drinks like an old ale, John. Wow.
Yeah, I gotta take my obligatory picture. Here, I'll put the crawl up. Here you go. Talk about
This is something else. Yeah, if you aged a really good old ale and good bourbon and good, supposed to be bourbon barrel aged.
It's bourbon barrel aged.
Yeah, it's bourbon barrel aged. This is what you'd have, and man, this is. I've got to wait a little bit until I can really start getting some flavors out of it because I still have the cordially yours playing around in there,
Which
doing
is
all
why-
kinds of things.
Which is why I ate my snickerdoodle, and
Need
take
some
a sip-
water.
Take a water here, and we'll be good to go.
There we go.
I was gonna have some sorbet, but I figured that would be a little too over the top. But-
A little pretentious.
exactly. So I'll take a sip of this. I've been waiting for this since it arrived from. I've been waiting for this since I ordered it from Tavor. So, oh my god,
I ordered 2 of these as well. So
oh, that's fantastic.
there's that the leather that you should get.
Mm-hmm.
out of it, and that
Big and leathery, yeah.
it's got that, but that the barrel's got a bite to it.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting that little bit of a bourbon bite out of it, John.
Mm-hmm. Oh, big bourbon bite out of it.
Yeah.
I ordered one of these, and I ordered one of the regular ones, not the barrel aged. Same beer, non-barrel aged. Got another comment here from Gene. Edible, my bad, no S. There you go. So
We knew what you meant, big guy.
we knew what you meant, Brian.
You're just
Gene.
busting your balls.
I just called you
Brian.
Brian. I called Gene Brian.
Wow.
There you go.
Wow,
They're interchangeable sometimes. So
Sometimes they are.
What big
But-
beer Gene having tonight? That's what I
But
want.
but Brian's number one drinking partner this past year was James. Not
with
Gene.
James, exactly.
Yeah, so I don't know.
That just means
Maybe-
that James checks into too many beers and takes Brian all the time. So
it's either that,
I can't
either
wait
that or
for
the
Gene-
romance is
Gene
over.
to put,
Yeah.
thanks for the invite.
yeah, thanks for the invite. Exactly. Tom Mobile checked in. Said Slancha. Yeah, Slancha.
Slancha.
Cheers, Tom.
Prost.
All right.
What's in Swahili, Matt?
Caribou.
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 Like caribou.
Like the northern, it's pronounced almost the same way as the northern animal, except it's spelled much differently. So
Caribou.
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 All right.
All right, Caribou.
Dave, we didn't get to you.
Aribu.
There you
Caribou.
go. How was your 2023 craft beer was?
When you look at it, we were talking about closures and all that, and some openings. Some of the closures we saw through there, I mean, let's face it, it's not restrictions because they're not in Jersey.
Okay.
And we talked about this on the show with Don Tess about what's responsible for it. We do know that hard seltzers are taking some of the segment.
They are.
The RTDs are taking segment.
I also feel
RTDs, I think, are taking a little bit more from the actual craft beer drinker away
I
from
feel
the
that even the hard
seltzer
seltzers are kind of on the downswing now.
Yeah, they
They're
seem
not
to,
like as hot as they were.
but the RTDs are coming in there. So there's a lot of factors at play there. But as far as I'm concerned, 2023 for me will be the year. Hopefully, it won't stay this way, but it'll be the year we lost anchor.
Yeah.
When you talk about closures,
Yeah,
that's
That
the
was
one
a big
that
one.
Yeah,
that's the one that hurt the most.
We mourn the closures in New Jersey, other than the ones that were good closures, right? Like the
Business decision ones.
business decisions, the Kelly
Right.
Greens and the Tuckahoes,
Right.
but the and the Malavinos. Malavinos a business decision too.
Yep.
Right.
Still
but,
mourn it.
of course, right.
I wish
But,
Sergio had stayed open, though. I mean,
I do too.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's
Well-
it's an interesting point though, because it's not just Malvino. The meat industry has had a ton of closures too.
right,
Yeah.
right.
I mean, Garage closed.
Yeah,
Garage
Garage
was
closed.
like the meadery. Like they were
They were the southeast.
king.
Yeah.
And like everyone loved their stuff, and everyone paid way too much money for their stuff.
Way too much for them.
and if they were charging those ridiculous prices and they went out of business, I mean, it's crazy to me, like how you could even open in the meadery. I mean, the price
But
of
you
honey
know-
skyrocketed.
Right. Well, that's
Part of
that
the
was
problem.
part of the problem. Yeah, inflation and just getting stuff to make the stuff. Oregon had a big loss of a lot of breweries.
Mhm.
They seem to not have weathered the COVID storm. I don't think they could figure out how to reopen effectively, and to the point where a lot of those places were brew pubs, so
Yeah.
they couldn't figure out how to do the food and the booze at the same time. Whereas I felt like places in Jersey that could figure out, or in other places in the country, could figure out how to mix the two together, were able to combat that better. The other big thing, I think, is the non-alcoholic beer segment.
Yes, the NAs are starting to.
It is
Yeah.
making tons of money. Tons
Yeah.
of money.
They are
they're
taking a lot
taking
away. They are.
But then,
And it's generational, I think. I think it's the younger generation that, the 21 to 25-year-olds that aren't drinking as much alcohol as we did when we were 21 to 25.
Do not. I can tell you right now,
Yeah.
my son's 23. I was drinking more beer than anything at 23. He's drinking more tequila than anything at 23.
Well, But there's also here's
And
another
not that
thing.
anything, obviously, when you're drinking alcohol. I don't
No,
mean to say
right.
that he's drinking tequila.
But,
Yeah,
but
right.
here's
You know
something
what I'm
else that I think is biting into it, especially with that generation, because they're growing up
Mhm.
at a time where so many states have legalized marijuana.
Yeah.
They're getting their high there. They're not getting
Yep.
their buzz from the alcohol, because that was
Correct.
really all that was like legally available to us was alcohol to get that buzz. They've got other
Right.
ways to do this now. Speaking of edibles, thanks, Gene.
Yeah, well, I'll catch up on these. James Harris actually wrote in, "Hello, friends. Can't turn on audio as I'm at a bar." I got to be honest with you. I'm
big
shocked.
surprise.
that
We're
James
so
Harris
shocked.
is at a bar.
Wait, does that mean it's before or after the movie?
Right. And then he said,
Might be
edibles.
no, might be with the movie because Alamo
During the
Draft
movie.
Houses. Alamo Draft Houses have bars.
That's
You can
true.
go and hang out
That would make
afterwards.
That is
sense if you
true.
can't have
And drink.
audio.
Yeah,
That is
he's already said that he's going to be drinking other half while he's watching the movie.
I have to tell you, the Alamo Draft House is a super cool concept. They have
is.
one right by my office. It's literally across the street from my office, and they have one on Staten Island, and there's one in Brooklyn.
Mhm.
They are really cool. The food is actually good.
I've only been to the one in
Each-
Brooklyn. I haven't been to any others.
Yeah. Each one is different themed. Like the one in Manhattan, you can rent movies.
Mhm.
So downstairs, when you go to the actual movie theater, this is really cool. So you go
Weird.
in you go in on the first floor, you get your tickets. There's a bar, and you order your drinks and stuff, and you can order food that they'll bring to your seat. You go down an escalator to the movie theaters themselves, and as soon as you come off the escalator, they have old 60s, 70s, 80s movies, B movies and stuff that you can actually rent, DVDs and Blu-rays that you can take home.
Tell me they have
And
the
return
Toxic
them.
Avenger because I'm going.
Yeah. but even like every Saturday morning,
Attack of the Killer
samurai,
Tomato.
every Saturday morning
Killer
samurai
Clowns from Outer
movie
Space.
that you
That's
see on Channel 5, you'd see all these different samurai movies and stuff.
Oh
and
yes,
movies.
Drunken Master.
They have them all.
One of my favorites.
You can
and Dave
rent
wasn't
them.
in one of them. So,
Are you sure about
But
that?
you can
that
can-
I know of.
but you can rent them and take them home and then bring them back, which is
the
really
movies,
cool.
not
And
me.
So they're
And then- right.
There's a price.
Well,
price.
there's a price for everyone.
There's a price for
There you go.
still there, but
Price
there's one in like Boundbrook, and it's basically like it's a little movie theater and it's attached to a bar. And what they did is they ripped out every other row of movie theater seats and just put these little like coffee tables. And
Yeah,
you really-
yep.
they have you get pizzas and you get whatever beers or
The
cocktails.
food is
whatever,
good.
served to you while you're watching the movie, and
Yeah.
it's like usually pretty cheap too. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's breakfast.
So
But,
I saw
was
I
pretty
saw
cool.
a special screening of Asteroid City. I got to reach back here and try not to fall. They gave us a lunchbox of
That's awesome.
Asteroid City.
I
It's
love
so
it.
cool.
With
I've seen that before. I saw you.
does it have
With-
the cooler in it?
wait,
Where is it?
He's getting it.
Wait.
There, he's coming. It's coming.
it's coming.
Give him a
Life
minute.
is short. Eat the bacon.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
exactly. There it
There
is.
we go.
The life is short. Eat the bacon. That was a gift from Joe Piscopo. So
Yeah,
I leave
there
that
you
up there
go.
as my. It's a weird assortment of stuff. So the growler is from Wet Ticket that my buddy converted into a lamp,
Love it.
Nice.
which is really cool. And then I have pictures. I have a clock here that is Judas Priest's Sin After Sin that a guy made and I purchased. And then I have this is Rob Dibble bobblehead.
Nice.
Because I go on a show from time to time, so he sent me that. The Connecticut
there-
Yard Goats.
See him.
Connecticut Yard Goats. Gotta love it.
You know who that is.
That's key.
Oh yeah.
We were all there that day. Or
We
we
were
were
at-
Matt wasn't, but
Mine's right there. The three of us were there. Yeah, mine's right.
Mine's over there.
We have the booby glass.
Movie
There's
glass.
Most
can't
people
go
have
without
a boot glass. He's got a boot glass.
That's right. That's Stephen Amell from Arrow. That's my son, and that's me as the greatest American hero
There you go.
from a Comic-Con. And then the
You got two of those.
I do.
So-
The man, Captain Kirk. William Shatner.
There you go.
Shatner.
Shatner.
But
There you go.
Yeah, so
bones.
that's
Well,
right.
you've heard the you've got the Oxford comma, you've
Right.
got the Walken comma,
And then you have the Shatner comma.
Yeah,
Here's
that's
Shatner
right.
Well, here's the thing. I'll
It's
tell you right now.
every single word.
I love
Actor.
William Shatner. I love
Ever.
William
Single.
Word. I love William Shatner. I love old Star Trek. I can watch that anytime, right? But the best thing, as far as I'm concerned, and agree with me, disagree with me, best thing he ever did was Rocket Man at the Academy Awards. Hands down, that parody. That's not even a parody. He just sung Rocket Man his way.
It just sounded it.
Totally.
Have you heard his albums? Have you heard Shatner's Christmas album?
I heard everything. Yeah, absolutely.
The Shatner Christmas album I play every year on the show. It's fantastic. I love it. Him doing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer is just Feliz Navidad. You have not heard Feliz Navidad until you hear William Shatner doing Feliz Navidad. It's fantastic.
I imagine that's kind of like listening to John Wayne speak Swahili. Because there's a movie called Hatari from, where he's like some kind of big.
How do we get back to Swahili again?
And we're back.
No, but it's the same. It's like his.
It is Kwanzaa.
So wrong.
It is Kwanzaa.
There you go.
But you know what? As much as the Shatner songs, still one of my favorite ever songs related to Star Trek. Leonard Nimoy doing the Ballad of Bilbo Baggins. That is a fantastic piece of music right there.
He did Proud Mary.
Oh yeah,
Leonard Nimoy.
He did. That was awesome. It's when people. It's at a time when people didn't take themselves too seriously.
Nope.
Right.
And you had to love it, and you loved every minute of it. And now it's gone. Right. It's gone.
Everybody, but in the 60s,
except for us,
early 70s,
we don't take ourselves too
right.
seriously.
No. But this is why I love Justin Timberlake. The man does not take himself.
No, he doesn't. You're right. He
doesn't. No.
He's special.
It's my in a box.
Yeah.
He's good. He's very talented.
Yes.
Very talented.
Well, he's
look, we never thought
JT
back in the day, we never thought that we could beat sweaty balls. We never thought that that's enough skit. That's it. Until 7 years later, it's my dick in a box. Right. Exactly.
And then they followed it with Mother Lover.
Right. But then they had we talked about.
And there was a third one in there too. I forgot what the last.
There's a third one where they're trying to rationalize that a threesome isn't gay.
Something like that.
It's okay. It's in a three-way.
It's okay. It's a three-way. That's the one.
Three-way, yeah. But then you also had
what did it say?
If our junk touch.
No. If there's a kitty in the middle, it's okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah. So I forget what it is.
Oh my God, that was.
We said it last week on the show.
And who was it? Lady Gaga was in that one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We said the sequel to Sweaty Balls was Dusty Muffin with Betty White,
which was awesome,
which was great, and then the whatever they were calling themselves, Adam Sandberg and Andy Samberg and
Lonely Island,
right? And they did Jizz in My Pants. That was good too.
Yeah.
I'm on a boat.
I'm on a boat with T-Pain, right? With T-Pain, right?
Did you ever see I Just Had Sex?
I didn't see that.
That's one of the best ones.
Yes, that's a good one.
I haven't seen that.
You gotta look that one up.
I'll have to go on YouTube when we're done.
Yeah, T-Pain's in that one, and it's fantastic.
But the Jizz in My Pants one,
T-Pain's in the boat one. Neo's in that one, but
the Jizz in My Pants one was the girl who played Meadow Soprano. What was her name? Jamie Lynn Sigler.
Yes,
she was in that. So that was always good.
Oh, so much fun.
So much fun. All right. Here I just
that kind of went out left field real quick.
Here we go. That's fine. Just to catch up on that, James Harris did say edibles. Gene Lynch said, "Why not?" And James Harris laughed. And then James Harris said, "We were talking about Alamo Draft House. Yes, the movie. I had
Fruit on the Ground.
2 beers and an old fashioned. It was great.
2 more.
He went to the one Staten Island, and then he said, "Threw It on the Ground" is a classic by Lonely Island. There you go.
He was in Bayonne, which is just basically Staten Island.
Which is Staten Island. Bayonne is Staten Island.
You know, Lonely Island did like a whole half-hour movie.
Well, Bayonne. Well, maybe not from somebody from Staten Island like yourself.
Right. Grew up on Staten Island. Don't say that. It's not in Staten Island. It's on Staten Island.
Well, I got to be honest with you. Back in the day,
it's Staten Island West.
Back in the day, I had a couple friends in Bayonne. I dated a girl in Bayonne or whatever. We always used to go out and hang out in Willowbrook Park. So when we went to Bayonne, we had to go hang out somewhere. Where did we go? Staten Island. So,
all right.
You know that Lonely Island did a whole like half-hour movie where Andy Samberg was Jose Canseco and the other guy was Mark McGuire, and it was about like the Bash Brothers, like in like the 80s. And it's like absolutely ridiculous because it's like a musical.
I don't think
it's like a musical, and it's just absolutely
All
ridiculous.
right, remind me of these later because I'm gonna have to look both of these up before we're done.
This is interesting because James just commented again.
I'll say it again. There you go. He said, haha, yes, Bayonne and Staten Island joined at the hip. We are the same. All right, James.
James is from Bayonne,
How
Al
about
from Staten Island.
Yeah.
No, the point,
Not,
the thing
not the same.
I want to point out is if you look back, Hello Friends can't turn audio on as I'm at a bar. Apparently he can hear us.
That is true.
Well, maybe he's got the closed captioning on.
Oh, no, it is closed captioning. If we don't have the audio on, we have closed captioning. Yeah.
Oh, we're that fancy.
We're that fancy. Yes,
wow.
There you go.
Ooh.
So
he says, except Staten Island has lower taxes. He said there.
It's a good point. Well, depending on where you live, yes.
And more dead bodies.
That's true.
And seagulls.
Some in cemeteries, some not.
Yeah.
Some in the
they're in
landfill.
cemetery. No, they're in cemeteries. Just two in the box.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I got you.
Well, no, I knew an undertaker.
Crack it open.
Sanitation department activity on the
right.
No,
crack that sucker up in their still room.
I knew an undertaker that his nickname was Two in the Box because he would do some stuff for the mob where they'd have a burial, there'd be another body in the box. So
there you go. James said, "Yes, I have closed captioning. When you go back to viewing and you see Dick in a box, there
you go. Nice.
Anyway, all right. I'll just weigh in just a couple of things from 2023. It's clearly
I wasn't done with my 2023.
Oh no, go. I think
because we're still talking about Anchor. Not to bring things down because we're having a lot of fun there. But I don't know if you've seen the recent news about Anchor, where the collective of employees have, they're working with a company that's actually, their specialty is, these collectives. And so what they're doing is, they've got the GoFundMe out there. Mm-hmm. I'm really close to putting in for the GoFundMe because what they're doing is they're targeting. Mm-hmm. They know damn well that the liquidation company that Sapporo has hired are selling things off piecemeal. Mm-hmm. So they're smart. What they're going for is they're going for the brand. Mm-hmm. They're going for the brand, and if you go for the brand, that includes the recipes. Mm-hmm. This way, if they can win the bid on the brand, and the employees own the brand, then knowing that they're the only people that can brew the Anchor beers, they can then court investors who will then put money up for the property and the equipment. And that way it comes together. So they're targeting it, and they're targeting it intelligently.
But what are they selling piecemeal? You're saying
the building, the equipment,
everything's being sold off separately. The branding and recipes are being sold off as one chunk. The real estate is another chunk. The equipment is another chunk because they're liquidating Anchor. What they're doing is this company that is doing the liquidation, they're trying to get the most money that they can for Sapporo. So they're splitting it into different assets. And the asset that the employee collective is going for is the branding, which I think is a very smart move because it's the only way that they can get all three together is by getting the branding and
they can get another building. They can get another,
They don't want to, and
they can. I'm saying they can.
They can.
They just wind up with the brand and the recipes. They can get other equipment and other real estate. If they get the branding and the recipes, and then they can court the investors for everything else. Matt is having his.
My third beer comes in a fancy box. I took it out of the box.
Don't say it. Don't say it.
God, I love everything that Firestone does.
To each his own. A lot.
Yeah, this really. Is not Parabola, this is Paraba Java.
Paraba Java.
And the funny thing is, it's a
very coffee-esque show tonight.
Yes, before the show, John and I talk about.
I'm gonna go have a nautical twilight. I mean, just for that.
I've got a few right there.
Mm-hmm.
But no,
I need a few. That's my favorite porter.
I'll give you some on Saturday.
It's really
All right.
But before the show, we talk about the things we're going to talk about at the beginning of the show, and we talk about what day it is. And one of the days, it's National Coffee Percolator Day.
It is. Yeah.
And John's like, yeah, let's not talk about that one. Well, we're talking about it anyway because coffee has pervaded this show.
Yes.
Right.
Coffee and Swahili are the two themes of the show today.
This is Swahili coffee. That's the new brand coming out in an espresso near you.
What is Swahili? What is Swahili for coffee?
A coffee for Swahili for coffee.
KOFI
Coffee.
Huh?
KOFI.
Coffee.
Coffee.
Well, considering the word is an African word, right?
Yeah.
Because it was
I mean, they are literally
Ethiopia,
far from Ethiopia. So
yeah.
There you go. Which is one of the better coffees in the world is Ethiopian coffee. So,
well, it's technically where coffee was first
born,
domesticated, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, because everyone thinks coffee is Colombian. No, it was.
Did you say emasculated?
No.
Domesticated.
Domesticated.
Oh, domesticated. Okay.
Oh, wow.
I actually thought he said
Domesticated.
Let's keep drinking.
All right. By the way, I don't know if you saw this before. This is the first time I actually drank this. I haven't just acquired this recently. A Treehouse Tiku.
Oh, nice.
Ah.
That's funny because if you saw,
They haven't been in the news.
Not at all. You talked about them on your show.
Glad you bought that. They need to pay for that lawsuit. So
That's right. That lawsuit seems a little suspect to me. Although I can understand.
I said it from day one. It was a
perspective.
little suspect. Yeah, but
You're saying that the two owners are enriching themselves by buying property and all kinds of fancy things, and yet you're an investor and you're not seeing your return on your investment. You mean to tell me you haven't been getting checks from them? Like you waited this long to say something? Because these two guys who I guess brought the lawsuit have been investors in Treehouse for a long time.
I think that's what he's saying. He's saying he's getting checks, but they're not nearly what they should be.
Well, I mean, they haven't released their books, so what should
what's your
they
percentage?
be?
But that's what he's also saying. He's saying he's not even privy to their books.
Hey, John.
He's saying, how do I know I'm getting paid properly if they're not even transparent on what the company's making? Which I mean, if I'm a partner, I understand that.
Yeah, I could see that.
Hey, John, is there exposure to us because our investors don't think they're getting what they're getting, and we have closed captioning now?
There you go. That's true.
I hope that we don't get a lawsuit.
No, I know.
Oh, wait a second. We have no investors.
We have no investors.
we're good. We're solid.
In any event, no. Look. Here's the thing. What percentage of investors are they? Like, do they have 1%? Do they have 0.5%? Do they?
I think it's like
30%.
2%.
2%.
I think it's 2%
between the two of them, or just each.
Each.
Okay, 2% each. All right. So, I mean, there's got to come a point in time where, like, I mean, your book should be obviously made available. Okay, I'll give you that. Your book should be made
at least to your investors.
To the investors,
right.
Of course.
Right.
But the investing that they're talking about, the buying property that they're talking about, is it personal property, or are they taking the money and reinvesting in Treehouse and buying the property in Sandwich, Massachusetts, and up in Saratoga Springs, New York?
Well, no.
Yeah. No. They're saying they're doing it personally.
They're saying he bought the property personally, but then they're selling it back to the brewery to use. So theoretically, they're making
money on them. They're making money on.
They're making money on when.
So they're taking company money out for themselves.
Wow.
Right. Buying the property, selling it back to Treehouse to make more money for themselves.
If that's truthful, it's douchey.
All of that is alleged. They're saying they're buying cars and all this other stuff. But let's say you're a 2% investor and you put in $2,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not the greatest in math, but what's your return on your investment? 20 grand?
Mm-hmm.
You know, something like that. So if you're getting checks on the regular, I mean, again, to Matt's point, you're right. I mean, if I'm an investor, I want to see what's going on here with the money. How is the money being spent? Whether or not I'm a 2% investor or a 50% investor,
right?
I want to see where my money's going. That I've invested in a business that I'm looking for a return 100%. And maybe a steady return.
And
especially that those guys seem to be printing money. I mean, their beer is phenomenal.
Yeah.
No, but I'm just saying their beer is phenomenal. People make this trip to this mecca of beerdom, you know, and they're buying, you know, tons of stuff. People, you see all the time. I'm muling this, I'm muling that, I'm buying this, I'm buying that. They have strict rules of when you go, how much you can consume on the property, and the rest of it you have to take to go and whatever. So they're very tight-lipped about all that stuff. So yeah, if I was an investor, yeah, I'd want to know what was going on.
I do agree, but I still say there's something amiss in there. It might be minuscule, but there's something,
I mean,
there's got to be a little envy, a little jealousy, a little, okay, hey, like
transparency in what's going on in the books.
I invested $2,000 20 years ago. Where's my money now that you guys are rich? That kind of.
It was just like Trump's tax returns. If you've got nothing to hide, show us.
Show it, right?
Right.
Well, no politics on the show. I know.
It's one for one. That's an apples to apples, right?
I gotcha.
Well, especially when it comes to real estate. Real estate, there's lots of things that you can do with real estate that you can, take off on a tax return and hide. That's perfectly legal. So
100%, absolutely.
I mean, that's the thing.
Really quick, Brian Bogue.
But I think that.
Hi guys. Hey,
hey, Brian.
Hey, Brian.
Hey, Brian.
Cheers.
Right.
Cheers.
But I think
See you in 5 days, Brian.
Hey.
But I think that people don't. I think that people don't understand that when it comes to real estate. There's a lot of stuff that you can write off in real estate that as a layman you would never be able to write off, and it's an acceptable loss, and you still turn around with a profit. So that's nothing to do with politics.
That's what I think, Al. That's what I think part of the lawsuit was, because basically how the real estate deals went down, it literally all the benefits, all the tax benefits, all the profitability was on the personal side, not on the business side.
Right.
So the guy was like, again, he's a minority owner. He doesn't have a say in how they do their
decisions,
business,
right?
In the decisions, but it's like, all right, if you guys are making a decision and it's basically benefiting you personally, but not the business, that's kind of effed up.
Yeah.
And again, it may or may not be true.
Here's the thing.
I read the whole thing of what the allegations were and so on.
I don't know. I just say this, and I said this to I said this to Dave. I think I said this to Al too. I don't know what's going on, right? I'm just spitballing here, right? But if, and it's a big if, of course, right? Just hypothetically speaking, if the voting members of the investing group, right, and these two guys that have 2% each probably are not voting members.
Nope.
Okay. If the voting members of the investing group,
not.
If the voting members of the investing group voted for them to take the salaries and the money they're taking, okay,
all's on the up and up.
And I'm not saying it's good. I'm not saying it's fair. I'm not saying it's ethical. But it's legal.
But it's But the two guys who are named in the lawsuit are the two that have the majority share. So they're basically saying, yeah, this is what I want. I'm taking it, in a sense.
They're alleging that. Oh, I'm not saying that's not the case.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that's not necessarily the case.
If the books aren't transparent, there could be some shady stuff.
Sure, there could very well be shady shit going on. I 100% agree with you.
And I say the fact that the books aren't transparent leads me to think that there is shady shit going on.
Fine.
Because if it wasn't, I mean, if someone owned 2.5%, I'd be like, here, check the books. This is right. This is what we made. This is what your share is. Da da da. There you go. Fair enough. And I don't want to hear from you.
I'm with Matt on that one.
I agree 100%. All I meant was that, hypothetically speaking, if all of the voting members agreed and voted for them to do what they're doing, it's legal. I mean, whether the non-voting members like it or not, it's legal.
Yes.
So that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that's the case.
It may not be according to their agreement of how equitable.
Well, that we don't know.
That we don't know. But the other thing, though, too, is I think the funniest part of it, though, is after all these allegations and all this shit, I think it's weird. Like, he's suing them for like $50,000.
Yeah. No, he's suing them for more than that.
No, it's really not a lot of money that he's suing them for, which is kind of hilarious. I mean, I'm sure they're going to add legal fees and everything else on top, so it'll end up being a big number.
But still, just write him a check and be done with it.
$75,000.
$50,000.
It was well under $100,000.
If it's well under $100,000, this would be done already.
Wait a minute.
They would have written him a check.
$50,000. A week's worth of lawyers' fees would be $50,000.
Yeah,
I mean,
well, that's the whole point. I'm like, this is actually ridiculous. Yeah. Like, I think what he wants to do is they'll probably just settle with him and shut him up.
Of course, 90% of lawsuits are, "Hey, I want my money. Let's settle." Call it
unless he's Mel Gibson in Payback.
By the way, Dave,
Because wasn't that about $50,000 in that one too?
It was only about 50.
And,
Yeah.
and he wound up killing how many people over $50,000?
It was like an absolutely like the
And beautiful luggage.
I read like 3 pages of shit of all the allegations, all this, and then it got to the end and it was like, and he's suing them for this. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, is that even worth the effort? I'm like, it was so ridiculous. So,
Dave, by the way,
I want my $2.
Yeah.
By the way, Dave,
$2.
this is even getting better as it warms.
I know. Oh yeah, John, mine's gone because it's.
Are you opening your third?
I'm already on my third. So,
Al, you opening your third? Or you still on your second?
I'm still on my second, but I'm definitely.
he had a
opening
much
my
bigger
third.
bottle, so I give him.
Hold that thought, Dave. We just had an attorney weigh in. Here we go. Okay, Dave Campanelle, attorney. The legal fees are well over $50,000 to defend already. Probably cost that to read the complaint, he said.
Yeah, but he's a drunk attorney.
Well, 6 of 1. There you go.
But it's a good.
Wow.
And James Harris said, "Fake news, sad."
Wow.
Better, yeah. Hire Campanelle.
There you go.
And the thing, what I meant by that, he's a drunk attorney because that's my way of saying
We're drinking.
he knows the beer world. That's his thing.
No, well, our plan is not to get.
So no, he's not a drunk attorney. He's a drunk attorney. Right. I got you.
Yes.
I see what you're saying. Right. No, I got you saying. And then
actually, I should just put it this way: he's an attorney for the drunks.
For the drunks. There you go.
There, that
James
is.
Harris,
Right.
James
Well,
Harris
Dave
said
worked for
CBW
beer.
better hire Dave Campanelle. There you go. There you go.
Well, let's not get into any legal issues.
That's the more important part.
Yeah.
There you go.
Right.
Dave, will you work for beer? That's all I got to ask.
I'm waiting for the yes with a big smiley face.
If it's a yes, that he is a
Will
drunk
you work for
attorney,
liquid
no comma.
assets?
He would, in that case, he is a drunk attorney. No comma in there, be it Oxford, Walken, or Shatner.
Yeah.
There you go. Fair enough. Anyway. All right. Yeah, no. Hold on. He said we'll work for beer and liquid
assets. All right.
Just give me the definition of liquid for liquid
Yeah,
assets.
Right.
Those are one and the
assets.
same, my friend.
Liquid assets could actually be moolah.
Right, yeah, exactly.
No,
See,
no,
if I open my third,
beer
third
is liquid assets by definition.
This is true.
Jesus.
Could be other liquid assets, bourbon, wine.
That's true.
You
I
never
did get one of my gifts from my sister-in-law. Okay.
That's
there you
nice.
go.
There
I
you go.
almost bought one of those, but I got a Four Roses single barrel.
Yeah,
instead.
but you're almost done with it already in
Well,
one
yeah,
day.
I mean, I bought that last Thursday. I had a little.
Hold on. I got something. Hold on.
Hold on.
Here we go.
I had to give the Whistle Pig a little
You had
break.
to rest. You had to give it a break. There you go.
Yeah.
Dave went to get his bourbon or rye. There you go.
I got mine all right here.
So they sent me this when they did the Brooklyn Brewery Four Roses small batch.
Very
This
nice.
was a couple of years ago. I have yet to open it. This is probably 3 years old.
Dave, we're doing something very wrong on our show. Al gets stuff sent to him all the time.
Constantly.
Constantly.
Al, if you want to open that, I would totally drink that with you. You want a friend?
See, I like that.
Bring that
attitude,
on
Mark.
Saturday.
I'm there for
There
you.
you go. There you go.
Wait, but I have smaller ones.
That'll work too. That'll work
Excuse
too.
me? Oh, sorry.
See? There you go, Dave.
I
Okay,
did get this in Louisville when we were there. This is
Oh, there you
fantastic.
go.
There you go.
Okay, so you're gonna make me open a third, huh?
I'm making you open the third.
My third is actually at 15%.
Oh, geez. My third is what Matt's first was. So I'll finish this in a minute. So
Oh, so you're opening a nip,
I'm opening a nip. Yes.
and I'm opening a bigger bottle than any of the other two I opened, and it's higher. I've actually keep ramping up here, but I am wearing a carton shirt. You can see here it's a carton shirt. This beer is one of my favorite things that Carton's produced in the past couple of years. This thing is amazing.
Did they make a Sulu beer or just the Chekhov beer?
Chekhov's guns, Sulu's sword, right, Al?
Oh, Sulu's sword. Yes,
That's right.
Remember that episode?
Yes.
Mhm.
Of course. Al remembers every friggin' episode.
That's what happens when you're
We were just talking. We were.
Oh, that's a
talking-
question. That's a question for you, Al. Are you a Trekkie or a Trekker?
Trekker. Trekkie is an insult.
Yeah.
Really?
It's a trekker. Yeah, 100%.
I agree.
They're known as trekkers because they're trekking out into the universe or whatever. Trekkie is sort of like a slang insult word to the Star Trek.
Oh, you like that show? You're an idiot, kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like. We were just talking about.
Dave, if you were speaking Swahili, that you'd be called a Mzungu, like a white boy.
And we're back again.
Such a Mzungu.
There you go.
Yeah, that's just
Merry Kwanzaa.
Yeah. We were just talking the other day about. We were just talking yesterday about one episode, the episode with Clint Howard when he was the kid. With the
the Corbomite maneuver.
Yes,
right, Corbomite maneuver with
Yeah.
the Trunnion. Have some Trunnion. It's exactly. Yeah.
Tranya.
Trunnion.
Listen,
Tranya.
gotta get
Trunnion.
2 beers in, high powered. I still know my
Tranya.
Star Trek stuff. So.
Tranya.
My
There
son
I'm
always
in my basement still, so
nice.
There you go.
excited for that.
There you go. Going with that.
Catch up on a couple of comments here. James Harris said, "Oh, bourbon, talking my language now."
It's
Brian-
alcoholic language.
Yeah, Brian Boak said, "I got
God.
Sinatra Jack Daniels." That's right.
That is some beautiful. That's a
good
beautiful
stuff. James Harris,
They said-
I have a half
After what?
of.
He preemptively hit comment, I think, because he has this next comment explains it.
There you go.
Oh,
He said, "I have a half empty
Oh.
bottle of Blanton's staring me in the face at a Bayonne bar of all places."
I had about
Well, you should
6
drink it.
Blantons the other night at dinner, so
Yeah, I know, and I'm getting I'm patiently waiting a bottle of Blanton's I have on order. There you go.
oh! Don't put up the next. This is going to be cause a fight.
Star Wars greater than Star Trek. Oh, we skip over that. There we go. I don't want to start that argument here on this show.
they're not even
yeah.
the same genre. One's
It's
a
not the
space
same
opera.
show. Exactly. That's like saying baseball
One's
is
science fiction, one's
baseball
space
is
opera.
better than tacos. That's what it's like,
Yeah.
I like tacos.
I like baseball.
Oh, I like baseball too.
I know exactly.
And the one thing I'll say, I'm a bigger fan of Star Wars than Star Trek, but
Yeah.
I don't find one.
Yeah, but
greater than
one
the
is
other.
fantasy and one is science fiction.
This is very
it's
true.
Not even an argument.
So Dave
Yeah.
Campanella said, "James Harris, is this a bar where there are some underdressed women?" Okay.
Mhm,
And
that's
It's
what
in it,
you
but
said.
it's a surprise to everyone.
Really, it was a nah.
It's a nod.
Wow.
There you
Wow.
No, the one
So
thing
they're
I'll say,
fully clothed.
Hey, so James Harris didn't bring his mother to a strip
go.
club?
No, he didn't. Not tonight.
Buddy.
again,
Weak.
we joke.
Oh,
kid.
dude. Anyway.
Well,
Anyway.
the hat's going back on again. though.
Let's go back on. You put the hat back on.
That's
There you go. There you
That's
go.
it.
All right. Al, did you open your third?
Oh, he did.
I did.
You did.
I
What was
did.
it?
Oh,
the
big boy.
Oak Age Vanilla Worldwide. There you go.
18%. Finish him.
I will open mine.
That's
then.
right. Good thing
Finish him.
I don't have to get up at 3 a.m. Cheers.
Yes, you do.
You don't have
He's
to get up
having
to
the biggest
you don't have to get up at
ABV
3 in the morning
beer
until next
year
Tuesday.
earlier
so-
than the rest of us.
That's right. Oh, and you know what? I will
What's that?
tell you this. That's been sitting out from my refrigerator for 8:30, at least 2 hours.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Perfect. Yeah. Exactly.
Perfect.
That's it. So
Exactly where it should be. Oh my God.
my third
Well,
is
I don't think I'm going to get to it. I'm going to probably end at 3, but I would join you if I.
yeah.
Nice.
My third
Nice.
was Matt's first. It's Froggy Claus. There you go. Hopping
There you
Frog.
go.
Looking very much like a full can of beer in Andre the Giant's hand.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
Actually, less so than mine, though.
Less so. I love that picture.
And since I don't have a Hoppin' Frog glass, I'm using my. There you go. I'm using my St.
Like
Bernardus. There you go.
I like that it's not 8 ounces; it's 8.45 ounces.
8.4. It's
It's
what is
that
that?
extra 0.45 ounces.
It's
that-
250 milliliters, right?
Hey, 264-pound man. We're getting very oddly specific on the show.
There you go. Gotta
So
take
I
this.
would.
This is
I would
going to be
not
a very
put
odd
it in
picture.
that.
The glass is much taller than the beer, so it's going to be an odd picture.
Oh man, there's no way I'm finishing this one.
Yeah, you are.
No, I'm not.
You said that about the last one.
And I didn't finish it.
I just don't want to crack the
It's-
next one.
it's
but I feel
still
like
right
I'm
there.
going to. We haven't even gotten to the list yet.
We're not even close to the list yet. There you go. Yeah. So there you go.
Mhm.
Very, very.
Oh,
I'm looking
Jesus. We
forward to
still have
this.
a
I know
list to do.
Dave's going to have 15 beers for his top 3. And
I've actually got 4.
all right, I got 4.
I have 4. So, and
Wow.
James Harris said, Al, I'm obviously he's not talking about my hat. He said, Al, that hat is amazing. There you go.
It's for sale.
My hat either.
It's for sale.
Will you sign it?
John Ross, the hat
Sure,
you
why
bought,
not?
Al, is for sale. There you go.
$20. Al signs it.
for half a for half a bottle of Blanton's.
There you go.
Just take it from the bar and run.
Take it. Just go. Sure. There you go. Have
Look
fun.
at the beer.
Oh, I can't wait to see the police report on that one.
Put it in your mom's purse. They'll never suspect her.
That's true, though. I
Uh,
love that. All right, that's an open. Hold on.
damn.
Yep.
My cue is mom's purse. There you
By
go.
the way, speaking of Milavino,
Yes.
Uh,
Oh yes.
Yeah,
Yeah. I
that's-
actually
that's
have a
beauty.
couple right over here too. So.
Classic.
Yeah.
I've
and I got a
about-
couple, and
I was going to say you probably have more than I do. I've actually drank. Yeah,
I
so
got
I
one
have
of those.
2 of those left.
I have that. I have that.
I
I
got
want
two
to-
of
One
these.
that was ever
Those-
made.
and this was the one that you guys told me I should have opened, but I still have.
Oh yeah, you should
Oh.
open that.
Your one. I don't. I drank mine. We drank yours, right? You.
You drink mine.
We drank-
that.
No,
No,
John and I drank mine,
Yeah.
but we drank that like almost a year ago.
That was a year ago. Yeah. It was
Yeah,
on
we,
year one.
We drank the year 2.
We drank year 2 a couple weeks ago. Yeah.
a couple months ago.
A couple
now.
months ago. Yeah.
Yeah. So that
There's a
beer
lot
was
I need to get
delicious,
through.
but it has an absolute metric butt ton of adjuncts in it. Like PJ threw about 15 things in it, and it's just one of those things where you probably should have drank that really fresh because stuff's just gonna. There's so much shit in it. It's just stuff's gonna start dropping out.
All right.
So
That's why John Ross was like, "Buy one to drink now and have one to put away," and I'm like, "No."
Drink it soon. Drink it soon.
I'm like, it's got too much stuff in it. Like, just drink
Drink
it.
it
See,
soon.
now I want to keep it for another 4 years and then open it and see
Huh.
what happens.
Just to see. Well, that's not bad.
Yeah.
See if
Why not?
gravity. See if
Well,
gravity notices.
well, year 2 was the one where I suggested what they should do with the stout that's in a barrel, and they were like, "No, we're never going to do that."
I still have one.
And then they released the beer, and it was like, I was like, "That sounds strangely familiar, like almost exactly what my idea was." And I called John up. He goes, "Yeah, we did exactly what you told me to." and I was like, "Yeah, so can I get a bottle of that?" He's like, "I got you."
Oh, so wait a second. They listened to their head brewer.
No, I wasn't the head brewer at the time. That was a different week.
Matt was the head brewer. Matt was the head brewer for a week, for 10 days. He was the head brewer. Yeah.
Too much to his surprise.
That's like,
and he didn't even know. Yes.
unbeknownst to me, but known to everyone else. No, but I mean, Sam is doing well. I'm interested.
Sam's
because
doing a great job. Sam's doing
I
a great
talked
job.
to Sam recently, and they're just they were taking stuff out of a barrel, as far as I know, very recently.
He
So I'm
posted
sure,
something the other day.
I'm sure year 3 is going to be coming out soon, and that's going to be. I don't know what they did, but I'm sure it's going to be delicious. So
Nice.
Cool.
yeah.
That's what it was. That's what Matt. That's what it was. We drank year 1 when you and I were up in Glens Falls
Mm-hmm.
in April, and we did the show, and then we drank year 2 a couple months ago.
We drank year 2 just on the fire pit, and that was
The fire- that was the
wasn't
fire
on the
pit
show,
beer.
That was just us. But we did text John, and
We did.
I'm not gonna lie. So I mean, again, it's a Belgian stout. It's a chocolate Belgian stout,
Mhm.
so it's got a huge chocolate profile. So I was like, just work with the profile. I'm like, you don't need to put 40 things in it. Let's do a little bit of cherry and a little bit of coconut, and you do the German chocolate, German chocolate forest cake thing.
Mm.
And honestly, it was fantastic. It had nice coconut. It had a little edge of cherry to it. I thought it was delicious.
I still have one bottle of the original. It's the Brew Royale, Brooks Royale, Brew Royale.
I have 2 of those.
Wait, fancy that you should say that, but
There you go.
yeah, I got
I
2
got
bottles
2 of
up
those.
too. So
Mine's
this,
over there. I'm not getting up.
so this is the non-BA. But yeah, I mean it's a big old stout that should have held up like really amazingly.
That's been sitting in my refrigerator
should
since he
crack
gave
one
it
of
to me.
those.
He actually brought it to my house, That's been sitting in my refrigerator since he gave it to me. I cannot wait to crack it. That's good. It's good stuff.
Yeah. Well, I remember. The year one stout, I bottled all like 163 bottles
by yourself,
one at a time by hand.
Yeah.
Oof.
You did. Yeah.
Laborious.
I went to Cyprus and they hadn't used their bottling line in a while, and Charlie wasn't around. He was actually in Texas, and long story short, the CO2 pressure was a little weird, and so I could get one head to work perfectly, and then anytime I started to try to get any of the other heads to work, the pressure would drop to shit. And I'm like, listen, I'm not screwing this beer up when we only have one barrel of it. So I said, let's just do them all in one head at a time, and we'll just make sure the beer's right. I mean, there you
go.
It was way longer than it should have been, but it is what it is. I'm like, let's just make sure the beer is what it, because we put so much effort in. They barrel aged it. They put all those adjuncts in it. It wasn't a cheap beer. I'm like, let's not screw this whole beer up. Let's just
there you
don't want to waste a whole batch.
You know,
I was like, listen, if it's going to come out, if the one bottling head is working fine, that's it. It'll take a while and it sucks, but
Dave, guys, take a look at the comments. I'm thinking I'm going to block the last couple comments we have. What do you think? What do you think?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna.
Yeah,
you got spam.
And there we go.
I gotta tell you, one of our proudest moments on the show is the first time we got spammed during the show. It's like, we've made it. We're being spammed.
We're being spammed.
But collecting,
you cannot have her contact info.
There's nothing wrong with collecting souls, though. I mean,
dark as their souls, or just
your first beer, yeah.
Are the souls weathered? Because
and we're back. There we go.
There you go.
There you go.
What's that in Swahili?
There you
go. Souls? I don't even know.
Speaking of weathered souls, actually, we got to reach out to Marcus Baskerville. We got to get him on the show.
And his hound.
Right.
Yep.
So this beer is fantastic. I don't think I put the Corolla up, by the way. It was Matt's first beer, the Froggy Claws, 14.1%, Swiss style celebration winter lager. Yeah, I mean, this is pretty damn close to Sammy Claus. I got to be honest. It's pretty
good. Yeah. I'd say it's just a tad like boozier and not like, I feel like, I mean, granted, most of the Sammy Claus I've had has been aged for a few years too. So maybe it's just that it's a little smoother, but no, honestly, it's pretty good compared.
So you're saying Hopping Frog did the clone beer?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, good on them.
Yeah.
Especially
when they named it pretty much almost the same exact name as the original beer. I'm like, yeah, they kind of
they changed Sam to Frog. That's basically all they did. So James Harris just said, we're talking Froggy Claus. He said, weathered souls. He said barreled souls.
No,
departed souls.
Borrowed
souls is good too.
Barreled souls. Yeah. Now, James Harris is like, I think he's a founding member of Barreled Souls at this point with the amount of.
Wait a second, I thought Granite was the bigger barrel.
No, apparently James Harris is even bigger than Joe Granat.
Really, really, because I really thought that Joe Granat would sell his soul for Barreled Souls.
There was a time.
Yes,
I don't think so anymore. So. Modelo comes to mind, but we won't go there at that
point. He does like his Modelo.
He does like his Modelo. So
the man doesn't like beer.
All right. Hey, let's do our top threes. What do you think?
Can any of us read our list?
I can.
Oh,
not only that, I spent a bunch of time.
I got these. Yes, there we go. Perched at the point of the nose there.
There you go. All right, so let's start. Our top threes tonight. Our top three favorite big beers, 12% and up, that we've had this year. Now, before we get there, though, before we start the list, our top threes, whatchamacallit, of all time, if you will. Okay. Now, because we've been doing this show, this is our third year doing it. We didn't do it the first year. We did it. First year we did it. The second year, third year. This is the fourth year. Right?
The first year we weren't talking to Matt. The first year. Just kidding.
Your loss.
No, Matt was actually on the show before that. We just didn't do this show at that point. So, actually, I think we had Rick Reed on the show for this show.
Producer?
Yeah, right, yeah, exactly. No, the pitcher for the Mets.
That Rick Reed. Again, that loser.
Yeah, that Rick Reed. Anyway, all right. There's one Yankee fan on this show. Can anybody guess who it is?
It's not. The lower right corner.
It's the lower right corner. There you go. He's going to get his
there he goes.
Yankee hat.
Wait. The best Yankee hat ever.
Because it's that
Shark
8 Yankees.
Shark 8 Yankees. There you go. By the way, James Harris said, my whole fridge is barrel souls at the moment, nothing under 14%. Why aren't you on the show?
Yeah.
There you go.
Right. Oh, because we didn't invite him.
Oh, that's why. No, he's at a bar in Bayonne. That's why he's not on the show.
He took
actually, technically, all the comments he's on the show. So
he took his mom to the movies.
He took his mom to the movies. I'll give him a pass on that.
So the first 2 years.
But when he has the barrel soul share, I better be invited.
There you go. So
you're going to go to Bayonne?
No.
Okay.
So we did
up that whole fridge, put it in the back of a truck, and come on over.
Right.
Bring it to Brian's. Brian's is probably the best.
Yes, best venue, best bottle share venue, and close to Cutlets.
Right, it's very close to Tommy Cutlets. It's only a couple blocks away.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we did our top three. We did our top three
2 years ago.
2 years ago and last year. We did. It's
and the first year was our top 12% and over all time.
All time, and then last year it was the top 12% and over. Last year, and then so it is this year. So, just to recap, Matt's all-time is his number 3. Matt, you want to weigh in? Can you think?
No, I don't even remember what.
All right. So Matt's all-time top 3 for 12% over is number 3 is Tweak from Avery. It's a bourbon barrel aged stout with coffee. His number 2 is Sammy Claus. Okay. And his number 1 is Beer Barrel Time from Side Project. It's a cuvee of bourbon barrel aged stouts. Dave's top 3 of all time is his number 3 is Mad Rum Runners from Thimble Island. His number 2 is Chocolate Rain from the Brewery, which is a fantastic beer. Chocolate Rain's a fantastic beer, yeah.
Chocolate
Rain. Chocolate Rain. There you go. There you go. And
the guy that looks like Urkel. He looks like Urkel, and he sounds like Barry White. Like that was so amazing. When I first saw that, I almost peed my pants.
Jazzercise.
Oh, I gotta write that down. Hold on.
Wait, you never saw the David Letterman top 10 list of things that sound great when said by Barry White, and Barry White comes out. And one of them was Jazzercise, and the audience went ballistic. It was great.
Jazzercise.
And I think number one was Oprah.
Now, was it Barry White actually saying it? So
yes,
he was there.
He came out. He was standing at the mic and saying it. Right.
Yes.
I think Letterman's got the pull where he could get Barry White.
No. He had that a lot. He did that a lot. He had that. People give it. So, and Dave's number 1 was Bourbon Barrel Aged Observing Reason from Trillium.
Oh yeah.
He's forgotten, but that's it.
No, I've just been reminded I need a moment on that.
My 3, my number 3 was Bourbon Barrel Aged Pottery from the Brewery. It's a 16.8% old ale.
Potpourri?
Pottery.
Just the base though, because I thought the vanilla was better personally. But
just the base. That's it. I don't think I ever had the vanilla. To be honest with you,
it's because it's nice. It's got everything that the base has, but it's got the little vanilla on top. And
fair enough.
It's
if you come across a bottle, I'd like to have it. So.
All right.
You come across a bottle of anything, John would like to have.
Well, that's true. So, number 2 was Uncle Jacob's Stout from Avery, and my number 1 was Triple Bock from Sam Adams. So those are mine. So, but anyway, so
Triple Bock, believe it or not, Triple Bock is why I met Gene Lynch. I had a bottle of the
Hot
84
Rods at Hot Rods.
at Hot Rods. That's the first time I ever met Gene Lynch. I was there to see Chris Weisner. Chris texts Gene, goes, "You need to come here. A friend of mine is bringing over a special bottle." Gene showed up, and that's when I first met
So
Gene
Gene
Lynch.
got the invite.
He got the invite.
That's why he's so pissed off. He got the invite that one time, and then everything else went shit.
That's
it.
Gotta love it. By the way, James Harris, a Jet fan just commented on Giants. He goes, Tommy Cutlass is done, much like Linsanity. Okay.
Shut your mouth.
Yeah, call me when you get rid of Zach Wilson. There you go.
Well, he ain't playing on Thursday, so he's done.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
He didn't get out of concussion protocol, so he's done. It's Trevor Siemian on Thursday.
It's Trevor Siemian for the rest of the season, and Zach Wilson's out of there. So,
yep.
You know who I personally think, honestly, I'm not a Jet fan, but who I personally think will be Aaron Rodgers' number 2 next year?
Who?
Tyrod Taylor.
I was about to say Tyrod Taylor.
Oh, yeah. I could see that.
Yeah.
He's been almost every quarterback's number 2 for how many seasons now?
No, but that's actually not.
Oh, it makes sense.
By the Jets.
Yeah, I mean, all he has to do is pick up his stuff out of his locker and go to the other room. You know,
yeah,
so.
That's it.
And also, this past weekend, did the Giants just not come pretty much out and say, we're drafting a quarterback first round?
Not at number 5.
Not at number. No, that's not true because there's a lot of quarterbacks. Okay, but they could get Michael Penix Jr. or Bo Nix at 5. They can get him because the LSU quarterback and Caleb Williams are going to go 1 and 2 or 1 and 3 or 2 and 3.
Listen, I'm going to
Marvin Harrison's son's going to go in there too. So
I'm going to let you in on a little secret. I'd be shocked if they drafted a quarterback.
We need an offensive lineman.
I don't care. Here's the thing. And look, we talked about this, and not to turn it into sports, and we talked about it before, Al, you and I personally, and all of us, we talked about it before. I don't give a damn who the quarterback is. I don't care who the quarterback is. As long as they're functional, as long as you have a brick line in front of you, you're going to win games.
But I don't think that Daniel Jones has played behind enough of a line and having Saquon there and all the other stuff to properly assess how he's played over the last 4 or 5 years.
No, he hasn't.
He's never had a healthy line and a Saquon and all the other stuff for a consistent period of time. I'm not talking about games.
Eli Manning hasn't had a didn't for the last 6 years of his career, didn't have a consistent line in front of him.
But Eli was different than Daniel Jones.
Of course.
So I don't see them.
He didn't throw the ball behind his receivers all the time.
No, but I also don't. But also Eli couldn't put it 70 yards down the field. Daniel Jones can.
He can, but then again, so did Jeff George.
Just remember, Daniel Jones is the only person in 20 games from the NFC that's beaten Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is 19-1 against the NFC.
That's true, and the one loss is against the Giants. That's right.
But I'm still not. I will. You'll never sell me on Daniel.
Didn't Lamar Jackson have to take a shit in that game? I forget. He had to take.
No, I think he took a piss on the side.
Oh, that's what it was. All right.
Yeah,
but
that happens.
And again, I think they have to put a more consistent offensive line. If I'm the Giants next season, you've got to draft a lineman. If you're picking at 5 or 6, forget about what you think is going to be the guy of the future. You have to pick an offensive lineman that's going to protect your quarterback.
Now, what if by some
may or may not be
drops to 5 or 6?
Yeah, but here's the thing: Jones may or may not be ready for the start of the season.
No, you're right.
So you know who we'll have? You know who we'll have?
Tommy Cutlets.
Tommy Cutlets will start the season,
and I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with that too. But here's the thing. No, we need an offensive line. We need a stop with all the other bullshit. We need an offensive line in front of them. End of story. Call it a day. That's it. But here's the thing, though. And Joe Shane's responsible for one. Gettleman's responsible for the other. In the last 6 seasons, 7. It's 7 years at this point. There have been 2 offensive linemen drafted in the first round by the Giants in the top 10 picks. And they're both suck. One of them was obviously Eric Flowers. The other one, Evan Neal. He's horrible. Evan Neal is Eric Flowers 2.0.
Hashtag flowers never bloomed. Thank you, John. One of the best hashtags ever.
Very nice.
Flowers never bloom. Oh.
Whatever.
You just pulled
Let's talk about beer.
under Johnny there.
There you go.
We were doing our top threes.
We were. There you go. All right. Anyway, so yeah, offensive line. It's where it is. Look, one more thing. I'll say it. We're done. I'm
trying to get us back on track, and John went right back.
I'm done. I'm done.
Football is running the trenches. I don't care how good your quarterback is. I don't care how good your running back is. I don't care how good your pass catching tight ends and your wide receivers are. If you have a brick wall as your offensive line and a powerhouse brick wall as your defensive front line, okay, you are going to win football games. End of story. I love Phil Simms. He won a Super Bowl. Okay.
But
he's not Joe Montana. He's not Tom Brady. He's not. Keep going. The list goes.
Phil's job was to not lose games.
Right.
That was it.
Well, up until
I got one other sentence.
Purdy was doing a good job of that.
I got one other sentence. Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl.
That's right.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Our top threes.
What are our top threes? All right. So Al, I want you to start. I want you to give us your top three all time, and then because you have to jump in with
all right,
and your top three this year.
Top three all time.
Mm-hmm.
Utopia's 2017.
Is this 3, 2, 1 or 1, 2, 3?
This is kind of cheating, but okay.
Why is it? No, it's no particular order.
No particular.
Utopia's 2017.
12%. It's admissible,
Right?
But is it a beer?
It's technically beer.
Yes, it's technically a beer. Dogfish's Raison d'Extra.
Nice.
Okay.
Excellent beer. And then this year's Bourbon County Angels Envy 2023.
Ooh, haven't had it yet. Gotta find it.
That is like it could age, but if you don't want to age it and you want to drink it right then and there, phenomenal.
I still remember
the whiskey,
the Knob Creek, which was like one of the very first years where they did that single barrel variant. That Knob Creek was so good.
Yes,
so good. And the birthday
that was tremendous. So that's my three of all time. And then you want my three current or
three from this year.
All right, from this year. This one I had at Tap House 15 when John, you and I were there. The WeldWorks 2023 Media Noche.
Oh,
that was outstanding.
Just had a bottle the other day. It was very good.
Timber Ales blended with Lumber number 1, which I got a can of that at Paragon. That was 13.5% ABV. Fantastic. And then this one's under 12, but was still tremendous. That Beautiful Friendship from Alternate Ending.
That is a beautiful beer. If you get to that level of ABVs, you start getting into the equilibriums. You start allowing those.
I'm not going to say anything.
All right. It's a great beer. It was a really, really good beer.
I've got one sitting out there.
Yeah.
I did get a bottle of that one. Such a beautiful beer.
It is really good, yeah. All right, Matt.
It's Potenski.
Right. So
now Matt. So Al gave us his three of all time.
Yeah.
His three this year.
Oh, wait. An honorable mention. Vanilla Thanatoid from our mutual friend brewing in Colorado.
Oh.
Solid. I know Jan the brewer. I've had him on my program a bunch of times. He sends me all kinds of stuff. This was a 15% ABV beer. That was over the top. He sends me so much stuff. I have to give him a shout out there. It was a fantastic beer from this year. Yeah.
So, but Matt's only going to give us the top three
from this year.
Big beers from this year.
Yeah, that I've had in this past year.
Yeah.
So I have an honorable mention, and it's an honorable mention because it is not a beer. It is a mead. So I don't know if you guys have had anything from Brewland.
No.
Brewland.
No.
They're making.
Where are they from?
I have to look it up. I don't even remember where they're from. I think they're East Coast though. Let me look it up.
Brewland?
Yeah, Brewland. So
Brewland.
it's BREW.
They're in Oakland. They're in Oakland Park, Florida. And
Oakland Park, Florida. Yep.
And they are temporary.
Oakland Park's where whatchamacallit is.
Yeah, absolutely.
What the hell? Really? I can't think of it. Really?
Yeah.
Whatchamacallit's there?
We're all right there.
No, the bacon maple stout thingy. Fuck.
You mean
You're
I know you're talking about.
I'll think of it.
It's a Hindu sort of reference. It's a Buddha thing.
No.
Yes, Funky Buddha.
You're thinking of Funky Buddha.
Yeah. Brewland is temporarily closed right now.
Well, that sucks, but I'm telling you, they're making absolutely some of the best honey-based liquid in the business right now.
Nice.
And so I had
ever since.
Well, ever since
Melvino shut down. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I had the DPV Sauternes, whatever, barrel aged.
Are you speaking Swahili again?
No, that's terrible French or whatever it is. Sauternes. So basically, it's a double pair mead with Tahitian vanilla beans, and then it's aged in the Sauternes barrels. So like basically.
Sauterne.
Yeah, my French is shit. Healy's okay.
Spot on.
But long story short, it is beautifully pear with a beautiful friggin' vanilla note in the finish, and then it has this awesome like white port edge from the barrel with some nice oak spice. Really complex and just really cohesive, and everything worked together. But I'd never had that flavor combination before, but it was killer. And that was that rings in at 14%.
14.
So to deliver pear in anything, is doing that correctly. There's talent there.
Pear is a lighter flavor, so
pear is lighter than
it had
apple.
A beautiful amount of pear to it. I said this is and the fact that the pear was there and the vanilla in the barrel did not overpower it on top. It was a brilliant.
That is well done, because there's two fruits that I think that get so overpowered so easily. It's pear and strawberry.
Yeah,
Matt, I got to ask you, because you made a bunch of mead with Sergio over the years. Mm-hmm. Is 14% the standard for mead?
If you're making a full strength mead, like 12 to 14 is fairly standard. And that's just,
I mean, everything Sergio made, almost everything that Sergio made.
There's so much sugar and honey
14.
that you're going to probably, like it's really what it is that's the point where the yeast shits out.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Like it can't keep chugging through. It just, there's so much alcohol in there, it dies. Right. So a lot of the meads are in that area. If you have a full strength mead, there are ways to bump the ABV up higher than that. If you use a real, like, the problem is you can use a champagne strain, but then it just strips a lot of the character out and just makes it higher.
It's too dry.
Yeah, it dries everything out, but it doesn't just dry it out. It literally strips the flavor and character out too. So, like champagne yeast is kind of, you don't really want to do that to it. You'll just ruin it.
All right. So you're 3, 2, 1.
So we'll get into the actual beers. You guys heard my top 3. So this year I had the BBT, which is the beer barrel time, but the 2023 Van Winkle variant, which was aged in Van Winkle barrels. And that's from Side Project. That is also rings in at 14%. And I get a little leery of things when they're in Van Winkle barrels, because you have the little bit of the Disney like kind of thing where it's like, oh, here's the big name and you're just going to pay for it. But this beer was fucking fantastic. It was, beer barrel time is one of the most complex straight barrel aged stouts I've ever had. This had beautiful sweet bourbon. It had a little bit of barrel char. It had some nice leather. It had all kinds of things going on. It was super complex. And I was just like, I literally went into that beer like expecting to be disappointed, and it was fantastic. So it went from where I expected it to be way higher than that, and it's probably one of the better BBT variants that I've had. I also had the BBT rye this year, which was phenomenal. Again, I love rye whiskey, and we had the 2020 and the 2022. The 2020 was way better. The 2020 was out of this world good, but the Van Winkle just edged it out. Number 2 was a big barrel-aged, big adjunct stout from Moxa. So it rang in at 13%. It's called Beautiful Convergence. This had Thai banana, coconut, vanilla, and cacao in it. And it was aged in Weller and older Elijah Craig barrels. Unbelievable.
Thai banana.
Really, probably one of the cleanest Thai banana beers I've had. Beautiful banana with coconut, and then the chocolate melded with the roast really well. Vanilla brought you right into a big full barrel finish. Big adjuncts, but they were all pretty clean, and you got everything that's the problem when you have one of these beers that has like 12 adjuncts in it, and you get half of them, you get disappointed. This had those 4 adjuncts, and you got all of them, and you got them in a really nice way, but it still had a big barrel finish. So cheers, good on Moxa. They killed that beer. We had a couple Moxa beers this year that were fantastic. And again, it's funny because Moxa's known because they also do coffee, and the Moxa coffee is in a lot of beers like Equilibrium and so on. And the only ingredient that was not in there was coffee. So they're doing a lot of big adjunct beers without even putting their coffee in it. But Thai banana is interesting because it can get a little tart. When it's done really well, it's good, but sometimes it goes very easily into that like banana runts, like kind of weird tart banana flavor. And this was pretty clean and nice. And that probably would have been my number 1, except, and this was interesting because this was one that we, so my number 1 was actually an Equilibrium stout. And it wasn't Life After Death Star or, one of these big ones that you expected it to be. They released this one beer that we just bought as an afterthought, and it was called Barrel Aged Hig Time, like HYGGE Time. So it was aged in handy bourbon barrels, and it's a macadamia nut and marshmallow beer. And normally, and especially with EQ, I hate to say
macadamia nut and marshmallow.
Yes, barrel aged stout. And I hate to say this, but normally, anytime you say marshmallow, I'm just out.
Yeah, that's why
it's going to be egregiously sweet. It's going to be disgusting. This was the singular best marshmallow beer I'd ever had in my life.
Was it the barrel aging that balanced it out, or
it was? So first of all, it's 18%.
Oh Jesus!
It is a big beer.
So the alcohol.
No, but the funny thing is that the flavor covered the ABV. This thing drank like a 10% stout. Like you could have, like I was almost like we killed that bottle, and it was almost like, oh, I could have had another one, and you're like, yeah, but you probably would have regretted it. But it was, but it's just the macadamia nut, which is also a pretty like difficult ingredient to really do well
because it's oily.
Yes. There was no oiliness, but you still got that intense macadamia nut note that is so singularly macadamian,
which is done. It's done beautifully.
So again, it's an EQ stout. It's big. It's super thick. It's rich. They get a lot of like chocolate notes just from the roast profile. So it was chocolatey with this big macadamia nut, and then the marshmallow was super clean. It had like kind of vanilla marshmallow notes, but it was not egregiously sweet. Like for whatever reason, this was the one EQ stout that they didn't just go crazy with the marshmallow and like make it like diabetes sweet.
So it's not going after the Ghostbusters.
No. So, and with that, and then the barrel notes were beautiful. So it was just like, listen, these adjuncts are tough, and it's an adjunct that I usually don't enjoy in beer to begin with.
Right.
And it was so well done. And at 18%, like I was like, I love this beer. I'll just crush this all day, even though I'd regret it.
Right.
So that was by far my beer of the year. That beer was fantastic, and it was like I said, it was a sleeper. I didn't expect anything from it. It's not Lads or one of these big releases they did. I don't know. We just had it, and someone was like, "Yeah, we'll crack this. What the hell?" And we're like, "Okay."
We seem to have lost Al.
He had an issue with his dog. He'll be right back.
Gotcha.
He's all good.
Anyway, but no, and and I had to give that the nod because that at 18%, which is massive ABV, it was still so well done with such clean flavor and so drinkable. It was impressive, to say the least. So,
all right,
yeah,
cool. Dave,
me,
that would be you.
The honorable mention I'm going to give is because it shows up on my favorite Christmas beers every year. So since I mention it a lot, I will give it the honorable mention rather than throwing it on the top 3, and that's Christmas Bomb by Prairie. And this year, I actually picked up the barrel-aged version. I have not drank it yet. I want to let that sit for a little bit before I open that up and explore the beautifulness that will be that beer. Because I can only imagine Christmas Bomb, which the only ever thing that I find in fault of it is it can be a little sweet sometimes. So I imagine the barrel aging is going to so balance that out that's just going to be probably one of my favorite things I've ever put in my face once that goes. Oh, the German Shepherd next door's got some voice there, Johnny.
He's got a little voice. He's outside. He's outside.
Love that boy. So my 3, there's no particular
Lucky is his name. Lucky.
There's no particular order here. I'm going to start with Barreled Treasure. I can't read my own goddamn writing here. It's Odell. Barreled Treasure Spirit Hound. You're muted, John.
Myself because of Lucky.
Barrel Treasure Spirit Hound. Yeah,
you had an Odell this year.
Odell Brewing Company, 12%.
Guess where I got it from?
Where?
Tavor.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, Tavor. That's a beautiful.
So it's Spirit Hound distilling barrels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Spirit Hound distilling barrels. It was so balanced. There's some beautiful coffee in this. This was just such a great imperial stout. So I got to throw them in there. Really love that one. We did a little like a bar crawl through Brooklyn once, and I can't remember the place that we stopped.
Strong Run.
No, bar, not brewery. Bar. Bars.
Interborough.
No, that's a brewery too. I can't remember the name of it. Beer something South. They're a little bougie, but they have some great beers. Memory and Perception by Finback. Their Imperial Stout.
Memory and Perception is a great beer.
Holy crap. This is a dried out boozy almond joy is what this beer is.
Finback makes some fantastic stouts.
Oh my God. So anytime that you get like
these, it's fantastic.
When you get the either Mounds beers or the Almond Joy beers,
right.
So many times they're so damn sweet you need an insulin shot when you're done. Sure. This is not that beer. Mm-hmm. This beer is not cloying. It's not overly sweet. You get the almond, you get this dryness, you get the wood out of it. This was easily. I guess I am going 3-2-1 because this is number 2. This beer surprised me.
Either way, it works.
Yeah.
Go 3-2-1 or 1-2-3. It's still
it does work. But number 1, and I'm turning into a homeboy here, but I opened a bottle of 2021 bourbon barrel aged Mexican brunch from Cade this past year, and my God, John, that's going to enter into my top 3 all time.
Really,
Mexican brunch. Mexican brunch has always been one of my favorite beers produced in this state. Just taking the chocolate, taking that little, just enough of cinnamon to be there and impact the beer, but not take over. And that takes a very specific touch. Matt's brewed, Matt's brewed long enough that he knows that there is a fine line with cinnamon.
Not enough perfect shit.
God, you're done. Yes, exactly, with cinnamon. And Mexican brunch, Mike and his people they've nailed down exactly where that line is. It's 264 pounds, right? It's right there. You have to be very specific with it, and they do it there. And when you bourbon barrel age this, I always thought that I opened this with trepidation. I really did. Because Mexican brunch I thought was just such a perfect beer. You're not going to bourbon barrel age this, you're going to fuck it up. Not at all. Not at all. The bourbon barrel agents, they pick and just like the amount of cinnamon has to be a certain point, the amount of time that you leave something in a barrel, there's a second you've got to take it out for it to be perfect. Yep. And they goddamn nailed it. Yep. They nailed it on this one. And this is probably one of my favorite beers I drank.
I got a random question for you though, Dave.
Yeah.
You had the rye barrel aged Sunday brunch at all?
I have not. And I know coming from you, Matt, there's a little bit of a bias there because you're such a rye whore.
Yeah, but the thing is, and don't get me wrong, I love the bourbon barrel aged Sunday Mexican brunch.
Right.
It's fantastic. But I think the rye barrel.
I have to concur with Matt. The rye barrel Sunday brunch is.
I haven't had it. I'll take your word for it. And if either of you have a bottle left, I'll be over tomorrow.
I don't have. I only bought one bottle. It was gone 3 days after I bought it. So.
And I'm not that far from that.
No.
Well, we should get together on Saturday for that.
We should get together on Saturday for that. We really should.
Matt and I are both question marks.
By the way, yeah. Well, we'll talk after. We'll talk after this. I'll give you mine. I'm going to give you my honorable mention. I had 3-2-1. All along, I had 3-2-1. I threw an honorable mention because I had it yesterday. I never had this beer, and then my brother-in-law brought over yesterday for Christmas. Brought over a bottle of it from Source, the Mexican hot chocolate.
Oh my God, that's such a good beer.
That was fantastic.
That is an amazing beer.
So that 13%, that was an amazing beer. And
the thing is, you usually can only get that if you're in what's the club that they have?
The whatever club, yeah.
I forget what they call it.
Yeah, I forget the club they call it.
The Source OG thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Which Al is in of the four of us.
Which is Al is in, but also if you just happen to be some sort of like personality in the crowd,
or if you know someone,
if you know somebody.
Yeah,
Jeremy gave me one.
Jeremy gave me one too.
Yeah. So anyway, and I'm going to throw an outro mention in there. I got to be honest with you, the Rhine Guys Southern Grist collab came close, but I have to throw this in there because as it warmed, it made its honorable mention. And I can't wait to have the regular one just to see. And I'll probably take it out for a good couple hours before I actually take it out of the fridge for a good couple hours. Wooden cleats. So
I may bring my other coon hen to Brian Boak's
on Sunday
tailgate on
there you go
on Sunday. Yeah.
All right. So my 3-2-1. My number 3, and Matt, I thank you, Matt. He brought it over. It was a fire pit cigar beer, the Ambarana barrel aged wooden cleat. Was friggin' amazing. Now Ambarana,
wait a second. How do you say Ambarana in
Ambarana? How do you say Ambarana?
Really? Not.
How do you say cinnamon in Swahili? There you go. Right.
Oh, I don't even know.
Yeah, but no, this was fantastic. But
we stumped them.
It wasn't over the top cinnamon, but it was like perfect.
It probably just say chai and they
good.
Throw it in there.
Chai and call it a day. Yeah, it was fantastic. The Ambarana barrel aged wooden cleat from Kane. My number 2 was the Beautiful Friendship from Alt Endings. The
so wait, you got to qualify which
that's
one.
That's an asterisk.
Because 2023, the one we just had, the one we just had from this year.
The one that was the collab with Esker Hart.
Esker Hart collab, the Esker Hart collab this year.
Yeah,
right. That's a phenomenal beer.
Which we talked about the other day. The fact that it was in Seagram's barrels right?
Yeah, which is very odd. Like I was just like,
Well,
Who the hell
Matt, you and I
is
talked
anything
about
at
it.
Seagram's?
No, but Matt and I talked about it that day.
yeah,
When we were there after the interview, we talked about it, about how it was weird that it was in Seagram barrels,
Right.
and how good it was.
Yeah, 'cause who the hell?
I hate saying it, but I
ages
have
Seagram
a
barrels?
beautiful friendship that they did last year that's in rye barrels that with vanilla beans.
Right.
So I haven't cracked it yet.
Right.
So that I have high hopes for.
That's fucking
That
awesome.
that I've heard was very good as well. So
By the way,
it's such a good beer.
Dave, you did make the promise. Brian says I will enjoy that Sunday. There you go. So there you go.
Oh shit, he's still listening. Damn it.
There you go. And my number one.
Okay, so now I got to bring it.
There you go. And my number one, I'm going back to Kane. Matt, you and I had this a few weeks ago when we were there. The double cast 2023, the English barley wine from Kane. That was probably my number one.
You got to admit it. Mike does good shit.
So good. It was ridiculous. I did find, and we'll talk. Brian said, "Yes, I am." There you go.
Well, just to reiterate too, like brewing good beer is one skill set, and barrel aging beer and blending different barrels and making a cohesive flavor profile that you can then bottle is a totally different skill set. And
Totally different skill set.
both of those
Yeah.
very well.
Yeah.
And that's why their barrel age program, all those barrel age beers are fantastic.
Yep.
Fantastic. There you go.
Yeah,
So-
Kane hits the mark on all of that stuff.
Yes, they do.
They really do.
And
They
they,
really
make some pretty
Because
decent
people don't,
IPAs, too.
people don't realize though, when you taste barrels, the one barrel is going to be very hot. It has a lot of liquor, character. One barrel is going to be kind of very bland. You didn't get a whole lot out of the barrel, and like
Right.
you got to
You
take.
gotta know.
Again, for some of these releases, they're probably using 50 barrels. You got to taste everything. And say, okay, these 5 are literally getting dumped down the drain. These ones are hot. These ones are mild. These ones we combine them, then it'll be in the middle where. They got to have a whole plan to how they want that beer to come out and taste all the barrels and figure out what combination of those barrels will get them there. And, that's a skill set and they do it exceptionally well, especially for some of these big releases, Anteed and things like that. I mean, the base Anteed year to year is pretty consistent and it's pretty rich and pretty delicious in terms of bourbon. And I know they use a bunch of different bourbon barrels on top. So you're getting different notes.
And it'll stain the hell.
Yeah, it's not the same bourbon barrel of everything.
Yeah. So, so that there will be some yearly variation from, just in terms of the flavor profile, but they, it's always very good. And
it'll stain the hell out of your golf shoes. I'll tell you that. Long story. Different.
Yeah. Well, Matt actually.
I prefer to drink my beer, but
Matt and I were golfing at Chuck Aaron's
speaking of big
charity golf outing back in May with Fred and Chris, our partners, and I have a stain on one of my golf shoes from one of the barrel aged beers he had that day. So
wait, I got a great story about that though. So every other hole is a beer.
It is.
So we got to like the second hole, and it's the Belgian triple King Gambrinus, which I'm a huge fan of, and it's like about 11%. And
keep in mind this is a golf outing, so not everybody starts on hole 1, right? So you start on hole 12 or whatever, right?
8. So we're on hole 9, and we get the Gambrinus, and I'm like, all right. So they gave us these cups, so I'm like, I'm gonna fill up my cup and have a Gambrinus. Meanwhile, it's like a 20-ounce cup, which I didn't think about. And then the best part was like a hole after that, we get to like we were almost by the turn or whatever. So we get there. And so Chuck's there and he's like, hey, what are you drinking? I'm like, oh, I'm drinking the Gambrinus. And he was like, oh, yeah, that batch came out pretty strong. It's like 13%. And I'm just like, and he goes, those are 20-ounce cups. And I'm just like, shit.
and Matt is now putting into sand traps.
No. Like I lasted about 2 more holes. My golf game just like nosedived. And I was like, well, at least I had a good Belgian beer, and I wasn't mad about it.
We had fun playing golf. We had good beer. We had a couple good cigars. We had good food. So it was a good day.
And no one gave a crap what
and it was for a good cause because
it was for a good cause.
He raised a lot of money for
St. Jude's.
For St. Jude's, and that was
that
was the point of it. But having the fun and everything was secondary. That was a great event, and I'm excited to go to it again next year. I'm sure we'll be invited back.
Of course.
And I won it. I won a beautiful Giants.
He did. I didn't.
Well, the funny thing was Chris gave me his tickets before.
Yeah, he won. Chris won. I didn't. There you go.
Yeah. So Chris won, and I walked up, and he got like a schmedium, and everyone was looking there like, "What the fuck?" Because obviously, I'm a little bit larger.
It was for his son. He got it for his son. Yeah, he didn't get it.
He put the tickets in to get it for his son, and I'm like, it's not for me. Relax. So then I went and sat down, and they did the large, and then they went with the extra large, and I won again, and I walked up, and everyone was like, God damn.
There you go.
And then when you walked up for the extra large, they still went, really? No. So,
the extra large fits fine.
It fits fine. There you go.
I've been in the gym.
There you go. Well, I put it for the 2X only. So
I've also eaten about 20 pounds of Christmas cookies in the last.
Yeah, I got to hit the
please.
gym. Actually,
I ate. If any of you know, if anybody out there that knows, I ate about half a Mueller's crumb cake in the last 2 days myself. So,
I mean, I also might have done a little bit of drinking, but
I have no pants that fit anymore.
Which is why you should not stand up. All right.
I'm not going to.
Notice
I'm kind of lying back right here now.
You ever hear that, Dave?
What?
That?
Home is where the pants aren't.
Home is where the pants aren't.
So you get like a nice framed picture of that and put it on the wall.
Actually, there was so I've got like lounge pants, and the other night I made Carrie wanted me make eggnog. I'm like, let me go put my eggnog pants on.
Oh,
that's the lounge pants.
I got beer pajama pants.
They have to have no elastic, no nothing. Just
I
got really sweet pajama pants with beer like steins all over them.
Oh, nice.
They're in the wash. I didn't get them yet. Otherwise, I'd.
Oh, it's better than being in a box of storage.
Yeah, no.
Everything you own is in a box of storage.
Almost, but no. There's that's the whole thing about eggnog. Eggnog just bloats the hell out of you.
Yeah.
That's why I don't do it.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Barrel aged stouts. I don't go for the eggnog.
No, I love the eggnog. I had to make it at least once a year. Less bloat. Slightly less bloated.
Slightly less bloated. I drink too much eggnog during this month of December.
That was perfect time. I drink too much eggnog.
See, my problem is if I drink rum, I don't want it to lose the eggnog.
Oh, Zaccapa's one. You put that in your eggnog?
No, that's the whole point is I won't put anything in this except like a little like ice ball. So no, like I don't drink eggnog because I'm like nothing dilutes my rum.
There you go.
I don't put
I'm a man of principle.
Amaretto. Bourbon or amaretto?
Amaretto's what I put my eggnog.
Bourbon or amaretto. That's the only thing. I put rye in it when we did the show with Tom.
Yes, you did.
I did put rye in it when we did the show with Tom.
For me, it's
bourbon or amaretto. That's what I put.
I wasn't working tomorrow. I might actually have a little snipper of Zacapa tonight. But
there you go.
There you go. The I used to know someone who used to work for me who also owned a sugar plantation in Guatemala. And he supplied cane for Zacapa.
No shit.
So
C-A-N-E, not K-A-N-E. Right,
yeah, C-A-N. And every year they'd give him a couple bottles. And one year he gave me a bottle of the shit. Oh God, yeah.
Nice.
Do you still have it?
Fuck no. This is the most.
Do we need to ask that question?
And I have not had the XO yet.
You have not. I
haven't had it.
I've had 3 different bottles of it. This is
I'm not paying like $110 for it.
No.
It is the most pretentious rum on the planet because it is a Solera system rum. They Solera system this up at the top of a goddamn mountain and age it up there. So
it's a bad mountain if God has damned it.
But it is so good.
It's so fucking good. It's a goddamn candy bar.
The craziest thing to me is that Ron Zacapa is only 80 proof.
It is fantastic.
It is by far the best rum I've ever had.
It's by far the best rum I've ever had. And that XO.
And the nose.
Oh, they both concur. You and I are going to have to
get on it is so intense. You're like, holy shit, this rum's going to kick the shit out of me. And then you sip it and it's so goddamn smooth.
It is smooth as hell. It's the best rum on the planet as far as
I've had Zacapa in about 4 corners of this earth. So
yeah, it's a beautiful thing.
You have been to 4 corners of this earth. So
yes, he has, and he's been under the water in 4 corners of this earth. But maybe one of these days we're going to have to get an XO together and just.
Yes, I would like that.
It's.
I'll tell you a quick Zacapa story. So I'm in French Polynesia in Moorea, and I'm at this little resort, and where the thing with the huts on the water and all the
oh yeah.
And I go to the bartender and like it's the very first night. I'm there for a whole week. And I look at the menu that they have, and they have Ron Zacapa. So I'm like, I'll have a Ron Zacapa. The bartender looks at me and he goes, "Oh, I don't have any of that here, but I might have some downstairs." And then proceeds to stand there and stare at me. So I'm like,
Go get it.
"Are you going to go look if you have some downstairs?" He goes, "You really want me to go look?" And I'm like, "I'm here all week. If you have 2 bottles, you might as well save yourself the trip and bring both of them up." And he did. He went downstairs. He brought 2 bottles up, and me and like end up 2 other guys, because I drank it for the first 3 days, and then 2 other guys were like, "Well, what are you drinking?" I'm like, Ron Zacapa. Like, I'll try that. And they're like, "Holy shit!" He went down. He had to go down another time and get the 3rd bottle, but we killed all that Ron Zacapa there. I mean, the French Polynesia wasn't cheap, but I tell you what, when you're in paradise, like you're looking at landscape, you're like, I can't drink something crap. I got to drink something nice.
The thing with Ron Zacapa, the word Ron, it's not the dude's first name. Ron just means rum.
That means rum. So it's
right.
It's Zacapa rum in English. If you want it to be that.
And there is a rum out there. It's supposed to be actually very good. I've never had it. It's Ron de Jeremy. I am not shitting you.
It's not like rum chata. It's not a cream rum.
Oh, Jesus. I will have a long pour of that one.
On that note,
the Brugal and Yeho was actually not bad in
Ron de Jeremy.
Ron, I wish I was kidding. I'm not kidding. It's not a joke. There is a rum out there called Ron de Jeremy.
At 381, those of you, I won't go into the details or whatever, but those of you that know the reference to the bar at 381, after a Comic-Con,
you mean the condos?
After condos now. After a Comic-Con one year, I think it was 6 years ago, we actually brought Ron Jeremy back to the bar, so he was in 381.
Wait a second. Was it against his will or not?
Oh no, he wanted to go.
Oh, the way you phrased it.
No. And trust me, none of us
there against his will.
None of us touched him.
You were there against his will. Like
none of us touched him by any means.
You know what I mean?
But we got him back to the bar and made an appearance, and it was kind of mixed reviews, right? Half the people were like, "Yeah, Ron Jeremy." Half the people were like,
"Ew."
But have you seen Boondock Saints?
Oh God, yes, he was
fantastic. That's one of the best cameos ever.
That was awesome. I'll have the Coke.
Yeah, right.
I'll have a Coke then.
Exactly. Oh, geez. All right. So, hey, 2024. What are we all thinking? Al, you start.
Are we talking personally the craft beer?
Beer, not personally. Beer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I wasn't going to get into personal shit. Jesus. I'm not that drunk yet.
You never know on.
If I would have had one more, then
like
maybe.
Beer Fest,
possibility, yeah.
Then
the only
vendettas.
It would be very, very easy.
Right.
2024. What do you want personally? More boobies. That'd be for
That's every year.
Hold on. My 13-year-old nephew playing categories yesterday. B, what grows? Something that grows. He put boobies. There you go.
Smart man.
Right.
Only up to a certain age. And then they
right.
Here's what I want to see for 2024. I want to see New Jersey get their shit straight.
Good luck.
Well, no. But
we hope.
Figure
you're
out
talking about craft beer.
Craft beer.
Okay.
Figure out what they want to be and get it moving. I would like to see the return of more festivals. I think festivals have sort of gone by the wayside. I think there are a lot of people, and I think you're seeing it. You saw it this year, where a lot of people were not attending a lot of festivals for whatever reason. I mean, we saw that directly from AC Beer Fest.
Sure.
Less breweries.
Speaking
a lot
of
of lines.
What do you think about AC Beer Fest having 2 sessions?
I'm okay with that.
Because there were 2 different days. It's not in the same day, right?
Well, no, but a lot of
Well, it's a
people were
time period.
Outdoors and indoors, right?
Indoors
Look,
in the spring and outdoors in the summer.
I'm gonna be straight with all of you. I will be there in April. I will probably not be there in July.
Okay.
I like the outdoor.
Both. So.
Of course, I like the outdoor, but where John's putting it and the date, that's a big one. I don't want to be 90 degrees, on Bader Field, getting blasted by the sun with no shade
While drinking
if you don't have right.
Unless you just show up for the night session, because it's only one day. It's a Saturday day and a Saturday night session.
Yeah, but again, you're having to deal with weather, heat.
Well, you're welcome
rain.
to come stand underneath our tent anytime, Al.
Yeah,
but
also,
is it going? Will it be dependent upon the musical act?
That's true.
I think they will put.
I think he's going to try to bring fire to it.
Though. Yeah. They're going to book huge bands to get people to be there, and I get that.
Last year, the Dropkick Murphys. If he's got the Dropkick Murphys in July,
but
I'm there.
But here's the thing. So Dropkick was there in June, and they had a big issue with breweries. He oversold. He didn't get enough, and it wasn't just local guys. Founders wasn't there. There were Victory wasn't there. There was a lot of people.
$5,000 the year before.
Founders got fined the year before.
They got fined big time, so maybe they weren't as quick to
shell shocked.
It was a nice stand though.
I mean,
the best thing they had set up the year before.
Like 4 ounces of 15% stout, so that's on them.
I was happy with that. I got taken around the back, into the woodshed.
I didn't want 4 ounces of 15.
Wait a second. You got taken out back to the woodshed, or you?
I got taken out back to the woodshed and drank a lot of good stuff. But
okay. So not taken out back to the woodshed like the
no.
But that's fine. That's fine. But they didn't get fined for the woodshed people. They got fined for the. Here you go. Here's 5 ounces of what you should only.
I don't mind being in the convention center. I think that's the smart move because he knows he's going to get more people there, and people are going to make more of an event out of it.
Weather's not going to be an issue, no matter what.
No, because you're doing it in the middle of April. It's a smart move. The July one is going to be problematic. You've got to have water stations. You've got to have a lot of. You need shade. Like he needs to get people there that have
shade
big tents.
As far as cooling, not throwing shade.
Cooling. Right. That and water stations
there already.
That was just Dave trying to be 24.
I know.
That was just...
But you need shade and you need water stations.
Was that sus?
A little sus.
Ooh.
If
you get those two things,
I don't have.
You definitely need more like water stations.
I don't have the wrist.
100%.
They had.
Yeah.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
Refillable water stations. Allow people to come in with bottles that they can refill, and you're good to go. Then you don't have an issue.
Yeti type stuff like this, and just
exactly.
I mean, it makes more sense too because you want people to be responsible.
Yeah, but I think
that's not what this what this state is about. We want people to drink without being able to eat.
Right.
No. But overall in the country, festivals seem to be losing their.
They are. They're dying
the whole country. Yes.
Yeah. I think they seem to be losing their uniqueness and whatever, and you can bring that back because a lot of times people go to festivals because they want to try a bunch of stuff to see what they like and what they don't like, and I think that you can do that in a way that is approachable, and get people involved. Part of the problem is you're making the price point too high. You've got to lower the price point a little bit to entice people to come in.
And the VIP packages need to be more
VIP. Like if I'm paying, I'll be honest. I think this is the first year I'm actually going to do AC Beer Fest. Yeah, but I think this is the first year I'm going to do AC Beer Fest where I'm actually going to buy VIP tickets for the April session because I want to experience it. I've never experienced it before, and I want to experience the whole, having the toast and being able to go to a different place and this and that and whatever. If you're gonna entice people to pay Like say a regular ticket is $50 and the VIP is $90 or $100. If it's $100, what are you giving me for that $100? I want stuff that I can't get paying $50. You need to create those things.
So to be fair, when they did it inside, when they did it in the convention center, there was a whole like
section
off section,
yeah,
and you had one-off breweries brought one-off because when I worked with Cypress, we did it. We brought a one-off cask, and that was it. And that was the only place that was served. That was not brought back.
Yeah, there wasn't. It wasn't. It was a VIP session earlier because you got access earlier. Plus, you had a VIP only section during the entire event.
They had their
that's
own
what I want to see,
which was really nice. And then every hour they had a different brewery had a one-off cask.
Right. That's what I want to see.
And I thought it was really well done.
My favorite VIP package I ever bought. It was for an Oktoberfest. That's best Oktoberfest. The VIP package got you into a room that had breweries that were not in the general public. You had free, unlimited soft pretzels. But the thing that made everything worth it, that VIP room had its own bathrooms.
Yep.
That was, and I can't stress that enough because porta potty lines, bathroom lines, when you're in a room that has its own bathrooms.
I hate to say that's the biggest thing I hate about the outdoor. When we had it in the convention center, where you had the big, like, rectangle of Jersey breweries, behind all the curtains in the middle of that rectangle was some private bathrooms so if you were working the booths, like you just went and maybe there'd be
John always set up all the New Jersey breweries were in one big
rectangle.
So that was the best thing they ever did.
This end, a couple bathrooms, and that's inside the middle of the rectangle.
Best thing that John ever did was putting all the Jersey breweries in one section in the convention center because you could go up one aisle, down one aisle.
Well, you just did a lap around that rectangle, and you had all the Jersey breweries.
Exactly.
But that's the thing I like, because you'd walk in, and then there'd be maybe maximum two, 3 people in front of you, and you'd be able to pee. And the funny thing is, you'd be standing there in line waiting, so you'd naturally meet other people from the Jersey brewery industry, and you might know half of them, and you might not know half of them. But by the end of the festival,
you knew all of them.
You knew everybody.
Were people, which was
I'm going to throw this comment. I'm going to throw this.
You're like, hey, where are you from? Oh, I'm from this brewery. Hey, like, good to meet you. Like, because you're just sitting there waiting to pee.
But you cannot underestimate the ability to pee.
Yeah,
anybody who throws a VIP package up there, where you've got a much shorter line to pee,
right?
That's oh my god, that's worth.
That's
worth the double price.
Hold on. I'm going to throw this comment up there, and this is important too because this is really interesting.
And it comes from a lawyer.
And it comes from a lawyer too about festivals, and this is really important. This is something that's important too. Here we go. The other issue with festivals is most breweries bring the same beers to every festival.
He's not wrong.
So
when you only have 5 beers, sorry, screw yourself.
No. But before the pandemic, the last AC Beer Festival that was in the convention center, John wanted to make sure that every brewery brought something new, so that you weren't just going there going, "Oh, all right, I'm having the same 3 IPAs."
I don't think he's talking about AC Beer Fest, but just in general, other beer fests.
Yeah. Right.
There's a lot of breweries that are maybe not New Jersey, because New Jersey beer festivals, New Jersey breweries kind of get it, and they'll bring.
I can make the argument that when you're running a brewery and you're like, "Oh, I got 2 kegs of this left, and I need to get rid of them."
You're going to beer fest.
Here we go. They're going to the beer. Like there's shit like that happens because it's a business, and like.
But I agree with him. There's many times where I will not go to a beer festival in New Jersey because I've drank everything they're going to bring. Right.
All right, but I'll tell you this.
But not AC Beer Fest.
Not a brewery, bro.
No, not forget AC Beer Fest. The festival that's going to happen in July next year in Branchburg, that's going to be the one you're going to want to go to.
And Beer Bacon Barbecue?
Tell everybody.
No.
Beer Bacon Barbecue's in May.
Oh, which one's this one?
This one is in July. This is going to be the big event that's going to help the associations. That's going to all the proceeds are going to go directly to whatever they're going to call it. I don't even know what they're going to call it here. The Brewers Guild, the Brewers Association are going to get back together. And instead of doing the battleship, because the battleship is being repaired, they're going to do a big event in Branchburg in July, right after 4th of July, the weekend of 4th of July. It's going to be epic. Great bands, great beers. That's going to be the one you're going to want to go to.
See you there.
Support.
There you go.
100%.
I'll throw this up there. Brian Boak just said, I always brought special beers to festivals.
Absolutely
and he
right.
did an hourly releases. He did.
Yeah. And he...
Oh, wait. He said Anne did hourly releases. I'm like,
Anne?
Anne.
Who's
Anne?
who's Anne?
Is his wife now?
No. And I'm assuming that second N is a D. Yeah. And did hourly release.
Yeah, there was a D involved. Is his wife now?
See, like Shatner, it's the word "and."
And right. But no, he's true. He did.
He did.
I know. There's a lot of breweries. There's a lot
Hourly.
of Jersey breweries that will bring
The different versions of wooden beanie that we had.
No,
Like
he and I were just talking about this at the Giant Packers game when he brought his he brought Two Blind Monks, which was a fantastic double.
Yeah.
But he brought Two Blind Monks, and it was and he aged it on raspberry coffee, and it was fantastic. It was really, really good. So, but in any event, no, you're absolutely right, Al. And Dave and everybody we're talking about. There's a lot of breweries that will send, and it's not necessarily, like I was starting to say, it's not necessarily the breweries that are from Jersey or wherever and we're talking about Jersey here, but any of the states where the beer fest is, right? It's the outside ones that are distributing there. They want to move a couple extra kegs. They'll throw a couple other beers. That's right. I'm sorry. Brian said it was chocolate raspberry coffee. Absolutely.
You were way off.
I was, I forgot the coffee. I forgot the chocolate, right?
You were way off.
You're drinking. It's all right.
Well, this is true. This is a big beer show, right? So,
right.
In any event. But yeah, there's, you have to figure out exactly what you need to bring. And I always think that, okay, we need to move a keg, but we also need to bring something that's going to attract somebody to come over to drink it, right?
Yeah. But that's the whole point.
Right.
Dave's right on one hand, but on the other hand, the Jersey breweries at a Jersey beer festival, they're trying to one-up each other.
True.
Right. So the Jersey breweries tend to bring different stuff because they're trying to, it's just like that whole, the Joe Jackson song where the girls dress up for each other. Right. There's that line. When you get to a Jersey Beer Fest, the Jersey breweries, they're bringing beers to impress each other.
Sure.
Right. So it's the ones that are outside that are doing it. It's why for a while there, I wouldn't go to a lot of the Jersey Beer Festivals because that wasn't always the case back in the day.
Back in the day, because there was 9 breweries in New Jersey. So
exactly. So I'd go to New York, Pennsylvania. I'd go to all these beer festivals. But nowadays, the New Jersey breweries, they're trying to outdo each other. They're trying to one-up each other. And so few of them just bring the same beer every single year because they're going to get called out. They're going to get called out by the other Jersey breweries going, you brought that again. It's because as much as the Jersey breweries all love each other, as well as anybody else, it's a family, and a family is going. Exactly. Family members going to knock each other's dick in.
I like you.
Exactly.
So but remember, and on your Joe Jackson note, you can't get what you want till you know what you want. All right. So remember that. That's always important too.
Well, you can't always get what you want, but sometimes you'll get what you need.
Well, that's a Rolling
Stone. We get what we need, I'll be happy. At this point.
Exactly.
Those are octogenarians.
Anyway.
Wait a second.
All right.
Am I the oldest person on the show again?
You are.
You are.
You are. Don't feel bad on the second oldest person on the show. So there you go. Anyway.
And then
Matt, you got to be. Well, hold on. Matt's got to be the youngest.
Matt's the child. He's the child.
All right.
44-year-old.
I'm number 3. Oh, I'm the 3.
You're number 3.
I'm number 3.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Anyway. All right. So, but hey, as far as age goes, Al and I both have a very good birthday.
This is true.
Because it's the same day. So
yeah, it's true. Jay Leno, Saddam Hussein.
Jessica Alba.
Saddam Hussein. Damn, that explains a lot.
Jessica Alba.
Jessica Alba. That's
Ooh,
right.
There you go.
That's
There
right.
you go.
Right.
And
James
Brian,
Madison.
Wait a second.
James Madison,
Wait a
Vice
second.
President
Al,
of the United States.
Al, he mentioned Jessica Alba. Put the hat back on again.
There you
Oh, sorry. Wait.
go. Put the hat back on again. And since he was involved in a decent amount of the show through comments, Brian Vogt just said, "No, I am the oldest."
Yeah, he's not wrong. Thank you for that, Brian.
Thank you, Brian. We appreciate that. So,
I appreciate
anyway,
it.
all right. Any parting shots? Okay.
I got a feeling that Horny Eyes was not the oldest.
Horny Eyes was not the oldest. No. There you go.
You think it's an actual person?
No.
All right. Anything else we want to say for projected for 2024?
Well, we didn't get to everybody on projecting.
Oh, that's what you
I
started
got
with, Al.
something to say.
Yeah, Matt.
It's
Go
a
for it.
giant thing to say.
Matt, go for it.
I'm trying to
That
get a
sounds-
goddamn brewery open.
You are. I am too. What are you talking about? All right. Oddly enough,
Small detail.
small detail.
Oddly
Well,
enough,
no,
it's
but
the
yeah,
same
maybe-
damn brewery.
They will get this brewery open. So.
Which Coastal Brewworks will be open in some form or facet in 2024. So there you go.
Yes.
That's what we have to say.
It's gonna, and it will happen in one of the 12 months.
In one of the 12 months. We will announce it.
And
It will not be in January.
I can give
will
you
not
a
be in
mild
January.
spoiler. It won't be January, but I will say that based on some new developments, it may be sooner than we thought.
Right.
Oh, nice.
But we'll leave it at that.
That's all we're gonna.
Yeah.
These
All right.
two gents may know.
Bum,
Hold
bum,
on.
bum.
These two gents, I have to do the opposite with the fingers. These two gents may know sooner than you guys.
In
'cause
some
we'll talk to
form.
them after the show. But yeah, in some form or another, it may be sooner than we thought. So
Very nice.
we'll talk about that afterwards.
Very
But
nice.
we'll keep you posted. Dave, your 2024 thoughts?
So again, going back to what I mentioned about 2023, and I brought up Anchor because it really did. That impacted hard. It really did. I'm hoping for 2024 that the move by the employees is successful,
I agree.
and that they bring this brewery back online where it existed. This brewery is a huge part of San Francisco history, and we always got the sense of that. But a couple weeks ago, when we had Almanac on the show, we got even more of a greater sense of that, where we're talking to what I consider one of the greatest breweries in the San Francisco area, and the reverence that they give to Almanac, the history, this is who San Francisco is in the craft beer world.
Yeah, every brewery in and around San Francisco is feeling the same way about us, about Anchor.
Yeah.
I mean,
Totally.
every person who works at a brewery or whatever is involved with a brewery hopes you can have an iconic beer. They have an iconic beer that was basically they had a style.
Yeah.
They literally were responsible for inventing a beer style and being the dictionary definition of that style of beer. That's a totally different level. And to lose that is just a travesty in many ways.
It was interesting because when we booked this guest, I did have one Almanac beer because Almanac did not distribute into New Jersey anymore. And Booten had one. Eric told me he had one bottle, one left. I've got a few of them. I'm going to send one out because it's been so long that even the person that we talked to in Almanac has not had this beer. Gave Johnny one. Mm-hmm. And I was a little hesitant to drink Anchor beers on a show with Almanac, but I wanted to drink a San Francisco beer. And his reaction to
I had a Humble Sea beer. That's the only San Francisco beer I had on the show. So,
but his reaction to us drinking beers from San Fran, well, especially Anchor, his reaction to me drinking Anchor, he's like, "I'm so honored you're drinking Anchor on this show." It wasn't you're not drinking Almanac. What the hell? It was, oh my God, you're drinking Anchor. They're from here. These are basically our gods to them. And it was his reaction, really,
we stand on the shoulders of giants.
Yeah, perfect quote, Pat. Perfect quote. And you could tell that Kevin honored that, and I was really happy to have drank the Anchors on the show for that. So I hope in 2024 that the employees that their bid comes through, that they get the branding, they get the recipes, and that their vision after that comes through. I will support financially right now. The only thing that I'm working out in my head is what's the dollar level going to be?
Yeah.
I know it's going to be at least $2.50. I may go higher than that. I'm not sure. But this is a brewery I really think is, I've been harping on it a good portion of the show. I think it's one of those breweries. Remember back in the day of the failure of the banks where they were too big to fail. Anchor to me is too special to fail. It's too special to lose. And anybody who's listening, if anything you can throw into that GoFundMe, please do it. The
You've
employees,
ever had a Christmas beer from Anchor,
yeah,
or an Anchor Steam, or an Anchor?
Should I, Dave?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Throw it up. Because anytime we mention Anchor, John's got to do this. Here it comes. Bump, bump, bump. There's the Magnum.
All right. There you
And
go. Only Magnum I have left. 2016.
So
You
John,
remember how
now,
good that
so.
beer was, and you enjoyed it.
So John, you should throw up $100 for every time you've shown that bottle on the show.
I'd be broke.
You'd be-
But didn't Steve Ashton did a vertical the other night of a whole bunch of
He did.
Yes, he did.
anchors, and they said every one of them held up.
He said 2002 was the best.
They all do.
Right.
They
I
all
did
do.
in
But
2013.
every year they're a little different too. It's not like they
Yes,
make the
they
same
are,
beer.
No, they change it every year.
It's the spicing is the spice blend is different. So that was the big draw about getting it every year, because it's similar, but it's not the same thing as last year.
Right.
It's each year will have their own nuances, and you could have a favorite year, or whatever.
But the
I
thing
will
is,
tell you this. I will
Yeah.
tell you this. If you haven't been to Wet Ticket yet and had their spiced brown ale that Tim put on their test ticket,
it's
outstanding.
John
But
needs.
But
I
the thing
might
about
have to take a ride, Matt.
the thing about San Francisco,
Thursday after work.
I'm not too far away.
All right.
and I was in San Francisco this year,
It's good.
and I remember what was it, John? Like 10 in the morning.
I still want to make a Rogan beer.
It was 10 in the morning. Yeah.
About 10 in the morning, and I'm walking through the Marina District, and there's a bar that's open.
You might have to make a testicle. Is that what you said?
He said,
Nope.
"But
Sorry, Matt and I are laughing about something that
I was like, there was something about a Rogan beer, but I don't,
Oh,
okay.
I heard about that. I might have been there that day. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Well,
But I'm walking through the Marina District, and I've just come across this placard in the street that says, "We have Anchor Steam on tap." The
Yep.
brewery's already closed, so of course I wonder. It's 10 in the morning, and I'm drinking Anchor Steam on tap.
Mhm.
But to give you an idea of how much this beer, this brewery is
It's been 18
beloved.
years since I had an Anchor Steam on tap.
Oh God, that was something else. But
I've had Anchor Steam. I can remember once. I might have had it more, but I can remember once that I had Anchor Steam on tap.
I had it 5 times while I was in San Francisco because I knew every time that I saw
done.
it was on tap.
It was
I
done.
need to have it because there's a very good chance this may be the last opportunity I will ever have this beer. But my point is, like, if we ever lost a brewery here in this state, historically, how big of a loss is it? Not really. Right?
Well,
Maybe,
what if
well,
You're
wait,
right,
that
there was
depends
no
on the
vote.
brewery.
Depends on the
no.
brewery.
there's
Think
no more
about it.
vote? Dave would retire.
Well, you know me. I would
Dave
be destroyed.
will not
but,
stand.
But I'm just saying, historically speaking, there are only a few breweries in this country historically that stand up to the historical breweries in the country.
Right.
New Jersey does not. No offense to Kane, no offense to Carton, no offense to Flying Fish or any of the predecessors. We don't have that here.
Why
We
not?
don't have any of those great, well-known national breweries that would be a loss. Anchor is one of those treasures.
Yingling would
They
be the other.
defined a
But
style.
that's
They
Pennsylvania.
defined a
And
style.
Right,
which
no.
Yingling would probably be the
Keep
closest.
having a good
Right.
beer. They defined
Yingling is one of the closest. Brooklyn may be the next closest ish.
No,
Yingling.
Yingling.
But Yingling. But they're pretty damn solid. They're not going anywhere.
No.
They don't need to ever sell out to a Japanese multinational the way Anchor did. But Anchor is one of those historic. And I think,
but the Sapporo thing with Anchor was a completely different. Sapporo bought Anchor thinking that Anchor could make Sapporo beer, and then realized, they can't make our beer.
So
that's why they bought Stone.
Yes,
right.
That's why they bought Stone.
And Stone already was bi-coastal, so they knew that, like the smarter thing would have been for Sapporo to wait and buy the right brewery. They just
sounds like they didn't do their due diligence very well.
Exactly.
Of course they didn't. But it doesn't matter what they did, what they didn't do. They fucked all of us. Of course. They're destroying a historical brewery, which
But Dave, here's my thing.
You have a thing?
No, because No, Anchor was not a big deal except for their Christmas sale. Like everybody wanted their Christmas sale.
Guys, I'm going to be back in 1 second.
Go pee. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's going to take more than 1 second.
See, I had to do that. I had to do that before.
I thought it was a dog thing. John told us it was a dog thing.
The dog thing was an hour ago. Listen, my bladder's good, but it's not that good. The anchor thing, everybody wanted the Christmas ale, but outside of San Francisco, who was getting Anchor Steam? Nobody. Right? So
exactly the point. We are the ones to blame.
No, right.
Because we didn't drink the beer.
Right. We didn't drink the beer because there were so many other beers that were out there. And Anchor sort of got lost in the morass of all of the other things.
What's new?
Right. So we're looking to recapture what got us into craft beer in the first place when there was only Sam Adams, Anchor Steam, Sierra Nevada. Those breweries, right? Anchor Steam was sort of that OG of 35, 40 years that we could kind of connect with.
Yeah.
And so, I don't feel like all of America can kind of appreciate what Anchor Steam really was. Yeah. Who's making a California Common? Who's making a steam beer? Not many.
I don't disagree with you at all.
Here's the problem. Okay. People like us in our 50s and people in their 60s for that matter. Anchor Steam and some in their mid 40s. Anchor Steam.
But Matt had the best line. He's like, not 50. Not 50.
No, when
it comes to talk about Anchor Steam, though, Matt, you're honorary 50s.
Yeah. Right. Anchor.
All right, wait. But here's
hold on. Let me finish mine first. Anchor, Sierra Nevada, Sam Adams, all of those, right? They're OGs for us. People that are in their 20s and 30s and early 40s. Yeah, they're OGs, but there's a lot of other OGs. Because stuff that we may consider newer breweries, even though they're 20 years old, they're OGs for people in their 20s and 30s.
But here's my take on it, John.
Okay.
One of the biggest growing segments, I think, in craft beer is lagers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course.
And steam beer,
and we all are happy with that.
No, and I think that's a huge thing. Lagers are on the upswing, and I think now is like the perfect time for steam beer to be rediscovered and be. Not only for Anchor to really sell a lot of it, but for other craft breweries to really make steam beers.
Right.
Because it is that beer that has a very nice lager profile in many ways.
Right.
And so it's just one of those things where but it has a little more flavor than your really light lager. So I'm saying, to me, this is actually one of the best times where I think Anchor could make a jump and actually be commercially successful.
And it's unfortunate that what happened.
You know,
Exactly. I
because
agree.
this is when the lager's on the upswing. And I just think they have a situation where they haven't had enough newer people. We obviously know it from historically having it, but I think you need to get the new generation to try it. Say, listen, if you like all these lagers that everyone's drinking now, try this steam beer.
Now,
And I think that it would get traction.
Conversely, there was something I brought up about 3 shows ago, John, where we were talking about with Anchor Christmas, because you brought up the biggest sale for Anchor Christmas. The biggest thing that kept them relevant was the Christmas sale, right? Anchor.
Yeah.
Right? Anchor goes away. We know we're not getting Christmas.
Yeah, this year was weird.
Yeah, Sam Adams all of a sudden puts Old Fezziwig out in 6-packs for the first time.
Way
ever.
Overdue, first off. But
Way overdue.
But I think one has a direct correlation with the other.
I do too.
you're not wrong.
Where Sam Adams goes, wait a second, Anchor Christmas coming out. Now's the time to put Fezziwig out in 6s, because I think someone in marketing in Sam Adams realized now is the time. But I really, for 2024, I really hope that the employees get what they want. They get the branding, they get the recipes, and that turns into what their goal is, what their strategy is to then find other investors and say, okay, we're going to work with you. You've got the branding. You've got the recipes. You're the only ones who can brew this beer. It needs to be brewed where it's always been brewed. We will buy the property. We will buy the equipment. We were going into this together, and Anchor will be rescued. And when Anchor is rescued,
imagine the Maytag family wants to reinvest.
That'd be amazing.
That would be
great.
like one of
because they've saved them once before. Save them again.
That would be kind of one of the coolest beer stories ever.
But here's the thing, and John and I have talked about this many times in the show, whereas part of the failure on us was that we didn't honor OGs. We talk all the time about drink local.
Drink local.
And I still agree with that.
Which
drink local.
You have to. Don't forget.
No matter where you are, though. No matter where you are. If you travel, drink local.
Right.
If you're home, drink local. But do not forget who got us here. Drink Anchor. Drink Great Divide. Drink Founders. Drink all Sierra Nevada. Drink all the breweries that got us here. Yeah. We cannot, and maybe this is just me going, get off my lawn, kids. But it is really,
hey, you kids, get off my lawn.
Is it
even
just
guys?
Yeah, even Dogfish Head. Well,
that's a marriage of Dogfish Head and Sam Adams now. So.
We don't want we don't want to see them fail. They got us here, and it'd be just it's just like taking Grandpa and dropping him off at the dog track, right? To steal an Imus phrase, right? No, let's not do that. Let's honor who got us here. Let's keep them alive. Let's keep them kicking. Screw those who have sold out. You don't necessarily need to honor Stone. You don't necessarily need to honor Lagunitas in these points. Right. But there's those breweries who haven't.
And I'm not honoring Stone. No offense. I'm not honoring Stone because the owner of Stone screwed Anchor. But that's besides the point. So
yeah, because Stone's the one who made it so that Sapporo didn't need them anymore.
Right.
So, but the ones that have been there for so long, every now and then, John put it perfectly once, you don't have to drink them all the time. We're not asking you to drink them every day.
Once in a while.
Once a year, if everybody who listens to us buys 1 6-pack from one of these breweries, you're doing your part. Sure. You're doing your part. Keep them alive.
Anchor, and granted, Anchor's gone, but Anchor, buy your Christmas sale. Buy 1 or 2 4-pack, 6-packs of Anchor Steam or a Porter or something like that throughout the year. One or two. Sierra Nevada. I don't think Sierra Nevada's in any trouble of going anywhere, but Buy your
No, they're not.
right. Buy your celebration now, but buy 1 or 2 6-packs throughout the year of something else.
I got the news for you.
Or a bottle of Bigfoot or anything.
Or something.
Sierra Nevada's never going anywhere because John pays all their taxes in buying Celebration alone. Just
I got it, guys. I got it. Yeah.
But my wish for 2024 is that we do not lose any other OGs.
Yeah.
That's my wish for the coming year. That's what I want to see.
I'm going to echo for my wishes. I'm going to make it short and sweet. I echo all three of you. All right, but specifically Dave and Matt. I echo. Don't lose any other OGs, and let's get CBW open. Okay. So,
and let's get New Jersey's head out of its ass.
Let's get New Jersey's head out of its ass. Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
That's probably the toughest one of the three, but
that's probably the toughest one of the three. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, but all right, I will let you guys know officially right now.
Longest show ever.
This is the longest show we've ever done.
Hey.
Okay.
First time.
But here's the thing.
First time we've ever exceeded 3 hours.
Here's the first time we ever exceeded 3 hours, and this is the first time. And the last two shows, one of the last two shows was the longest show ever, and the other one was rivaling the longest show ever. So we're getting longer, Dave.
Longer. We're getting long and strong, bound to get the friction out.
There you go. All right. Look, Al, Matt, don't go anywhere. We'll talk for a couple minutes after we finish the podcast. But on that note, for today, we'll wrap up the show.
Matt's put
mine's upstairs.
I
need mine.
Matt, you massage yourself, and I'll do the outro. There you go. We want to thank everybody for watching, and for those of you just listening to the audio podcast, thank you for listening. Don't forget to visit our website, www.logrom.com. That's LAGERROOM.com. And please remember, like us and follow us on all of our social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and, of course, our YouTube channel. All of them are at The Logger Room. Remember, we go live with the video podcast on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, which is now X, and Twitch. When do I have to stop saying Twitter, which is now X, and just go to X? I got
just to go south on that, Matt.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't want to do that. Yeah. Every Tuesday night around 6:30.
He's putting the heat up.
There you go. Every Tuesday night around 6:30 p.m. or so Eastern time. And for those of you who just want to listen to the audio podcast, you can do so on our audio host Spreaker, as well as iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Odyssey, Audible, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music Podcasts, TuneIn, Podcast Addict, Castbox, Deezer, Podchaser, Listen Notes, pretty much anywhere you can find an audio podcast.
Yes,
you will find The Log Room. There you go. And Al loves titties, beer, and Christmas cheer. Well, we all do. We all do. Like, who here doesn't, right? Anyway, and for those of you, and if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to one or more of those feeds, and you will never miss a show. Again, thanks for following along with us. Have a great rest of your week. Have a wonderful weekend, folks. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Have a wonderful, happy, healthy, and safe New Year.
Have a great Kwanzaa.
Have a great Kwanzaa. Have a great Boxing Day. Have a great Candy Cane Day. All of the above. Enjoy yourself. Drink a lot of beer, but drink responsibly. And we'll talk to you in 2 weeks, folks. Next week, we're off. We'll talk to you in 2 weeks, folks. Yes, we are.
Oh, thank God.
You are aware of that. So, all right.
That was my liver speaking.
We will talk to you on January 9th, folks. 2024. What?
He still has a liver.
There you go. Exactly. Well, he's going to give it a 2-week break. That's all he's going to do. So, all right. Take care, folks. Cheers.
They found him face down in his waffles, maple syrup dripping from his fake robe. Who did he see when he heard who was there? Now it seems that he shit out of love. This little penny went to market. This little piggy stayed home. This little piggy's eating corned beef in the back of a Ford Pinto. You better run, you better go, 'cause you're messing with the big toe. You better run, you better go, 'cause you're messing with the big toe, the big toe, the big toe.